Caster Mark Spencer from Ohio News and Weather. Just in is a tornado warning for eastern Trumbull County until 7 p.m. That is a radar indicated tornado, if you will. So this is a severe thunderstorm capable of producing tornadoes over Cortland, moving east at 55 miles an hour. Vienna Center over by Youngstown Airport there. You're in the path of this. Fowler Township, Hartford Township. Let's also include let's see, Yankee Lake, Weldon, 5 Points. All of you guys are in the path of this particular severe thunderstorm. If you see somebody on camera, that's my son Evan. Say hello to Evan, everybody. You won't be able to hear him. But anyways, this is what we're looking at right now. Let's flip on over to our velocity products here. And yep, this is the one that's going to give us the best scan right here. Okay, so here's what we're looking at just north of Youngstown Airport here, just along Route 11 here, and just north of the airport. There it is. It just updated. It kind of went away, but our rotation's pretty much right here. There's Youngstown Airport, Fowler Township up here, and our rotation is literally just north of the airport there, maybe by about a mile. That affect, just north of the Air Reserve Station as well. That's all kind of heading to the southeast, about 50 to 55 miles an hour, according to the warning. So parts of Hartford Township, the Yankee Lake area, all of you guys are going to be in that path. Remember, if you are in the path of this storm, you'll want to take shelter. And the best thing you can do right now is to take shelter in the lowest level of your home, whether that's a basement or the lowest level ground floor, if you will. The most interior room if you don't have a basement. If you have an interior room upstairs but not downstairs, go ahead. That's better than nothing. But if you have a basement, that is preferred. If you're in a mobile home, you should get out of the mobile home. But if you're real close to this, it's a little late to get out of the mobile home. So if you have somewhere really close by you can get to, it's a much more sturdy structure. That's the place to go. But otherwise, you want to get to the lowest level of your home pretty much right now. It is a radar indicated tornado warning, so no confirmed tornado at this point in time. That's great news. And we're going to continue to track this. Looks like right over 193 right now. And I'm not sure this other road here. Let's try to zoom in here. Looks like it's gonna be okay, just north of Kingsgrave, so Caldwaller Sonk Road and Youngstown Kingsville Road, which is 193 right there. Here's our rotation right here. It's right here. And I'm sorry about the noise, guys. So that's the rotation. So if you're anywhere near here, heading towards, I can't read all the names on here, Warner Road and eventually Route 187 there. That's all headed towards you in the next few minutes, really. It's moving pretty quick. So this is all, again, moving this way here really, really fast. I put a storm tracker on it, but it's not going to populate a lot of towns. A lot of this I know is not very populated out here. And there it is. That's a little bit better, trying to get a little bit more organized there as well. Again, look how fast it moved. Just a couple minute update. Right now over Warner and Kingsgraves Road right now, headed towards Yankee Lake. So if you're in the Yankee Lake area, and I do know there's some population out there along State Route 7 and Yankee Lake, right in here, you need to be taking shelter right now. This is going to be on top of here in just the next few minutes at the most. If you know anybody out there, let them know, hey, this is going on, take shelter, and let's get underground or at least at the lowest level of your home. Really right now is the most ideal time. If you are generally around Youngstown Airport and west, I know you're still going to be in that tornado warning box, but all that is clear. This is all east. So if you're Youngstown Airport west right now in that tornado warning, you're okay. This is going to be off to the east of Youngstown Airport at this point. Vienna Center, you guys are okay. This is northeast of you. Payne's Corners, you are okay as well right now. But right now, this is heading towards the Yankee Lake area along State Route 7, and then eventually on off into Pennsylvania at this point in time. I'm going to flip over to our reflectivity product here, because we do kind of show, and this is just a touch behind here. It will update in just a moment. I apologize. There it goes. nice hook here. So we got a real nice updraft coming in. It's all wrapping around. So we have this nice rain-free base right now, or mostly rain-free, or our hook echo, if you will. It kind of showing this sort of sign on radar for about the past 10 minutes. I've been sitting here watching it before going live, and I was actually just getting ready to go live when this tornado warning was issued. And just to talk about this particular storm, because it was just starting to show some signs of rotation on the velocity products there, and they went ahead and issued that warning, which is a good heads up move. The National Weather Service in Cleveland. Real nice structure here right now. Good inflow, a real good notch. It's not a big storm. I mean, this thing fits in, you know, part of Trumbull County basically, but it is a supercell up here. We have probably a little bit of hail right over Hartford Township as well. Again, that's moving off towards Orangeville and then off into Pennsylvania right here. So nice hail core there. We have our hook, we have our inflow, the rain-free base, the wraparound. So that has good potential to potentially produce some sort of spin. We don't have any reports of anything right now. Obviously, this just got issued a short time ago. But yeah, there's some really good rotation right there. Let's see if we happen to have, ooh, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't like that. This is our correlation coefficient product. Usually we use this to see if there is debris being lofted into the air, but I think what we're seeing here is we're seeing winds getting kind of shoved into that. But yeah, that does not quite look like what we usually see there. But here's our rotation product right over Hartford Township here. Here's some strong rotation here. So called normalized rotation, just picking up areas that the radar thinks are rotating or can tell are rotating rapidly. And usually we start seeing these brighter colors like this, that's telling me we do have rotation here. So there's likely at least a rotating wall cloud, perhaps a funnel cloud that is with this storm. And this is some pretty good rotation on our velocity product. This is King Graves Road right here, headed up towards Hartford Township, and it's right over that. Pretty much right over Hartford Township is our spin right here. We got the green, we got the red. This is going this way, this is going this way. I may have that backwards, but either way, this is not really what we want to see when we see those bright greens and reds next to each other. That's indicative of strong of rotation, at least, you know, depending on how bright those colors are, tells us kind of intensity as well. This is just north of Yankee Lake. It's probably just about ready to cross over State Route 7. There it is. There's our update. It's right to the east of State Route 7 there. And let me zoom in here. Just north of Yankee Lake. We are around, let's see if I can get some road names here. No road names. Route 188 and Route 169. We're really right along State Route 305, headed toward 5 Points there, and it'll probably just graze 5 Points, but pretty much just east of Route 7 and pretty much following State Route 305 right here. That's our area where everything is kind of coming together right now, and that's some pretty decent rotation right in there. So we're going to continue to just kind of keep an eye on this. Let's check out our, oh yeah, this wrapped in real nice. Let's look at this. This is a classic hook here. Classic, look how well wrapped in this is. Real good inflow. We have everything wrapping around. This is a very mature supercell. Would not be surprised at this point if this is possibly producing a tornado right now. That is a classic textbook look. We got a lot of hail as well. You'll see some flashing up here. So basically when we get to certain reflectivity values that are higher enough, this will flash. Just to kind of give a visual reference, it doesn't mean anything particularly, just that it's a higher reflectivity value. So this is likely going to produce hail headed towards 5 Points just south of Orangeville and moving off into Pennsylvania. So some decent hail, and some of these storms could produce some very large hail. Wouldn't surprise me if this one is, but this is very good rotation, very strong updraft in with that as well. So that's a dangerous storm that is heading off into Pennsylvania. That's heading into what is that? That's Crawford County, not Crawford County, I'm sorry, Mercer County. And it looks like the Weather Service did issue, okay, we have a confirmed tornado near Sharpsville moving east at 55 miles an hour. there we are. So just as we were talking about we did get confirmation from the National Weather Service near Sharpsville that there is a tornado on the ground. This is about ready to cross into Pennsylvania. Sharpsville's in Pennsylvania, by the way. It's just the nearest town with population that the warning generator could populate. But it's basically right over far east central Trumbull County, about ready to cross into the state line. So if you know anybody out in the Sharpsville area, Pritchard's Corners, Pennsylvania, this is heading right for them. Yes, those are fruit snacks. Everybody sees them. Thank you, Evan. Not sure why I know why the Weather Service probably has issued a warning over there, to be honest with you. Let me pop that on real quick. So I have the warnings actually filtered a little bit, so that way we don't see so many all over. But we'll go ahead, we'll turn on warnings for Pennsylvania as well. There we go. And they have issued a tornado warning there in Pittsburgh for Mercer County. That is getting ready again to cross the state line. If it hasn't crossed the state line already, again, it's moving at about 50 to 55 miles an hour. So that tornado is about out of the state of Ohio, but that is going to continue on into Mercer County towards Sharpsville, Pritchard's Corners. Here's State Route 18. Like I said, this whole storm's almost already into almost already into Pennsylvania entirely. That's how fast that cell is moving. So it's already affecting Sharpsville, and it's also going to head kind of towards the north side of Hermitage there. I think it'll miss Hermitage. Sharon's down here, and you guys are going to miss that, just barely. North side of Sharon, but it's more Sharpsville. It's gonna cross over State Route 18 here in about the next few minutes, and then that's gonna go on to Hermitage. Let me just click on over to. I actually got to zoom out here. I'm gonna click the Pittsburgh radar, and again, it's gonna be on a different update cycle here, and it's a little bit far away, but it's not terrible, and yeah, it's a higher beam height here, unfortunately. So it looks a little more skewed. Let's go back to the Cleveland radar here. We do have some other things to talk about as well. We do have another severe thunderstorm warning that was issued. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. There's a severe thunderstorm warning for much of Trumbull County as well that was issued prior to this tornado warning. Again, it's with that storm, and it's moving into Pennsylvania right now. Boy, that is a really, really classic look there. It may be getting some of the downdraft there, that rear flank downdraft wrapped in a little bit, but it doesn't really look like it a ton. Boy, that still looks good there. Pretty much right over Sharpsville. You got everything coming in here and then wrapping around, but I don't see anything trying to wrap back in and kind of shut that off. But yeah, that is a very, very textbook supercell storm right there. And again, no huge surprise. Mercer, if you know anybody in Mercer, PA, or out towards Grove City, they are a part of that tornado warning as well. Maybe send them a text, make sure they take shelter. Let's go back here. I want to take a look at this line of storms here. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning for west central Portage, northeastern Medina County, and Summit County until 7:30. And right now we are generally looking at 60-mile-an-hour winds and maybe some hail, but probably not. These are some weak storms. But this is pretty much mostly Summit County. Medina County, you guys don't have too much. It's pretty much out of there at this point. Again, they're moving to the east-southeast pretty quick. But it's pretty much right over Hudson right now, down towards Stowe, parts of Bath Township, getting into Fairlawn, Cuyahoga Falls, knocking on the door there in Kent, and then also on up towards Streetsboro as well, getting some heavy rain and perhaps some strong winds. Maybe some small hail with this. Again, it's all moving this way. So we're going to keep an eye on that. That's not terrible, but the wind and the hail are some decent threats. There was the threat for some tornadoes as well with any of those discrete cells like we just saw there in Trumbull County a short time ago, and that's it. So yeah, here's some nice wind, I guess. It's not a lot, No, it doesn't want to populate anything. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, it's not a ton of wind, but it's wind nonetheless. Okay, let's zoom on out here, folks, and let's take a look what we have coming. We do have another severe thunderstorm warning way out west. Let's go to the northern Indiana radar here. We have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect only for about another 10 minutes for Fulton County, Ohio, there in the far northwest corner. That storm's moving east at 75 miles an hour. Check out this bad boy. It's got some hail with it. It's got a nice hail core here in far northeast Indiana. That's going to cross the state line really shortly if it's not there already, and that's going to start affecting mainly farmland. Good thing we don't have crops yet, but this is eventually going to get towards Bryan, Pulaski, Montpelier, and West Liberty as well. Not to leave you guys out up here, Pioneer and whatnot, but the strongest cell is right here. That's a really, really nasty cell with some potential for some large hail with that particular cell. So we're going to keep an eye on that. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning coming in right now as well, it looks like. Let's switch back over. Let's see what we got here. It actually might be for Pennsylvania. Yep, it's going to be for PA. That's going to be that tornado warning out in Pennsylvania there. They updated that. They said radar indicated. That's kind of interesting when we had it confirmed. Anyway, I forgot I turned Pennsylvania stuff on. My bad. So we'll hear that noise every now and again. So that's what we have going on out in far western Ohio. While we're out here on the Fort Wayne radar, let's take a look here. Put your shirt down. That's not very nice. Where's your manners? You don't pull your shirt up on live TV. Okay, streaming. Storms here across northern Indiana are going to move towards Ohio here pretty quickly. These will continue to evolve. This will likely congeal into some sort of a line as it moves through. So it'll go from kind of this large hail to more of a damaging wind only threat at this point. Again, it's as that moves through. We're pretty much got a severe weather threat through about midnight or so, maybe even a little bit later. It'll just kind of depend on what storms do here really over the next, say, couple hours or so. It's just about 8 o'clock here, it looks. I'm sorry, 7 o'clock here, my bad. So we'll see what happens about over the next 2 hours as these things move through. Plenty of sun, plenty of warm air across Ohio. I mean, it's still upper 70s, low 80s across western Ohio. So there's a lot of plenty of warm air and everything. Looks like the tornado warning here is probably going to expire here. Yeah, they're going to let that expire just at 7 o'clock. So that's what that was about. Otherwise, we kind of got this mess right now. Wasn't expecting this. We kind of got this mess. We got these rain, kind of thunderstorms. It's about 48 to 50 degrees along the Lake Erie shoreline. We were in the upper 70s not that long ago. Hour and a half ago at best. It's dropped into the 50s, so that front is coming south. And of course, we're getting all of the backing winds behind all of this as well. It's cold. We got that colder air coming in tonight. So all that's starting to filter in. So I think right now, if you're pretty much along the lakeshore, pretty much any threat for severe weather is done for you guys. I think it's going to be more inland at this point. And this is just kind of messy. Models, we're doing a bit better job today, actually, painting a really particularly decent threat for severe weather, and it's just not quite panning out, unfortunately. That happens sometimes. And, you know, it's good if you don't want the damage. It's bad if you're looking forward to the storms, I guess. But in this particular case, it is just not quite wanting to pan out. Now, we'll continue to watch stuff. Yeah, downtown Cleveland right now, 46 degrees. It's 48 in Willoughby, and at Cleveland Hopkins, it's 49. It's 50 out in Lorraine. And then you go inland just a little bit. I mean, it's 72 in Akron, 73 in Worcester, 71 in Ravenna. I mean, it's still warm as you get inland. So still some fuel for storms to use. There's tons of shear aloft, so a lot of wind shear aloft that will help kind of keep these storms going. So there's some instability. That's good. We got some wind shear. A lot of this is going to support some pretty robust updrafts as well. So, you know, the hail threats there, and so are the damaging winds. Okay, so if you are in Trumbull County, I know the tornado warnings there. Maybe a couple of you heard some sirens. That's kind of automated in a sense, but all clear for you guys. Trumbull County, all clear from the tornado warning. That storm now is just about into Mercer County at the moment. So it's gone. We do have a big, huge, we like to call it a megagon out here, severe thunderstorm warning. I'm going to flip over to the Northern Indiana radar here. So I want to go over this one too. Severe thunderstorm warning for Defiance, Henry, Williams, and Fulton County until 7:45 p.m. Damaging wind gusts in excess of 60 mile an hour. We could see some large hail, inch and a quarter, inch and a half. That's going to be about golf ball size. And this storm is moving east. It's flying, folks, 75 miles an hour. They did tag it tornado possible. So I'm going to take a little bit more of a dive. This is starting to really take off here, this particular line. So we got plenty of hail. I do want to kind of take a look at our velocity products. I don't see a whole lot here at the moment. That's good. It's kind of messy. So we got some damaging wind floating around in there. I don't really see too much in the way of rotation. This is kind of messy stuff here. So that's kind of, in a way, good. And then as far as hail goes, woo boy, this is definitely producing some hail just north of Edgerton there. South of Eden, Blakesley, along State Route 49. Yeah, that's a really good hail core right here. That's going to probably produce at least an inch hail, I'd say. So very good, robust updraft in this storm that's supporting that hail. Now north too, along the turnpike, is perhaps some smaller hail as well. Up towards County Road M50, County Road 675, County Road 6, into that area as well. Let's go ahead, we'll put our reflectivity back on here. Yeah, that's a really good looking storm. That's heading in towards Montpelier, West Jefferson, Holiday City. It's going to stay pretty much right along US Route 6. Towards Williams Center, Evansport, and mainly a lot of farmland out here. But that will eventually head towards Fayette, Archbold, Ridgeville Corners. You're under the severe thunderstorm warning even further. Wauseon, Napoleon, Liberty Center, Malinta, and kind of those surrounding areas are all under. They kind of just issued their last little corner there, and you know that's that. So that's fine, not a big deal, but definitely, certainly worth watching. Actually, temperatures here did drop some too, so it's going to be kind of interesting. It's an elevated storm, I believe, at this point. So the tornado possible tag is kind of interesting, but again, we'll kind of keep an eye on it here. I don't see anything right now that's striking. About the only place would have been near Montpelier there. There was a bit of a notch there a moment ago, but a lot of this is hail. If you're in Bryan right now, if you have anything outside at the moment that you can quickly grab that's breakable, I'd bring it in. Or get your car in the garage or something really fast, because that's a really good hail core headed right for downtown Bryan and also Pulaski in really just the next couple of minutes. Yeah, kind of looking at those are cat toys. Yes, all right. Thank you, Evan, so much. Thank you. Right here is about the only place maybe that there could be like really broad weak rotations. I'm not particularly concerned about it, but it's something we'll watch at the moment. It's pretty much between Montpelier and Edgerton right now. But really, the big thing is going to be this hail core. This might update here in just a second. Hasn't updated yet. That's a pretty monster hail core. Again, that's all headed towards Bryan. There's a drop off right there, guys. It's just a little one, but I'm okay, I promise. But that doesn't want to quite update just yet, but that's okay. That product does not update with the rest of the radar, by the way. It does take a little bit of time. But there's our big hail core pretty much. And look at this, it's more of a line too. So we'll have some strong winds along it, definitely 60 mile an hour more than likely, but also this large hail headed towards Bryan. And this other one just south of Edgerton there, just south of Route 6 is really starting to look good. And that is headed towards Farmer. And then it's mainly just farm fields after that. But all this other stuff here is really trying to make its way east, and it will pretty quick. And that'll be towards Archbold, Ridgeville Corners, and Stryker there. Really not too long from now, probably only about 10, maybe 15 minutes at the most. It is moving pretty quick, but this is a line segment that's moving through. So that's going to transition eventually to just all wind, or mainly wind, but we'll see how long it wants to really maintain that hail core there. I do want to switch back to the Cleveland radar. We do have an update on our warning here across Summit and Portage County. This storm really isn't doing much. Most of it's right over Kent right now. So right here we have State Route 43, State Route 59. It's just on the east side of Stowe there. Stowe goes all the way up to the county line. And then it's pretty much mainly in Kent. Ravenna getting some rain, Freedom, Windham, Garrettsville, and then off into Nelson Township there. You're getting a nice strong storm, but it is not severe, at least from the looks of it right now. And really the strongest part is pretty much right over Kent, pretty much right over Kent State University. And then another one up here just about over, it looks like it's just going to be on the southeast side of Garrettsville there, just barely, probably right over Windham Township more than anything. The Weather Service did update the severe thunderstorm warning there just to include that little bit. Much of Summit County, though, you are in the clear. So if you're in that warning polygon earlier, you're good now. Hudson, Twinsburg, Bath Township, pretty much all of Cuyahoga Falls. This is pretty much Stowe, Monroe Falls, and a little bit of Talmadge, and then down towards Brimfield Township there. We'll continue to watch that because it is kind of starting to go the way the one in Trumbull County was early on. We don't have any signs of rotation, it looks like. No, not yet, but I do want to point something out, not to scare anybody. It's just something we're going to watch. I'm not saying it's going to do it, but that other cell kind of started out like this. I had this little notch here, little inflow notch there and everything. We're going to watch it. The difference here is that we kind of have this other cell up here and they're kind of influencing one another a little bit. And in addition, we have some other rain that's catching up back here, and that's going to influence a little bit. We'll call it semi-discrete, where it's not fully independent of everything, but it somewhat is. So we'll watch it, but the other one kind of did the same thing. It just showed that particular look on radar, but it wasn't really showing anything as far as like velocity goes in terms of rotation on that end. So we'll just keep an eye on it. But that is headed towards Brimfield Township, Rootstown, Randolph, Atwater, and what am I missing down here? Come on. I'm not missing anything. Five Corners, I guess. And eventually maybe Deerfield, but again, pretty non-severe. My guess is they're going to allow that particular warning to expire pretty much when it's done. And that warning does go until 7:30. I actually wouldn't be surprised they'd cancel it earlier than that. Don't want to forget about our friends out here in Tiffin. We have a special weather statement for some small hail and some gusty winds up to 50 miles an hour that's moving through the Tiffin area and Seneca County. And yeah, that's really about it. So it's windy at times. No real rotation or anything, just some occasional wind gusts. Again, I can see up to 50 with that, but these are non-severe storms right now, and could see a little bit of hail there right around Tiffin right now, and that is going to quickly move off to the south and east towards Bloomville. It's pretty much going to follow 224 for a little bit, but then eventually that may get towards New Washington and Willard as well. So kind of keep an eye on that, but not expecting this to really reach severe levels. All of this stuff, this is pretty much just noise at this point. Some thunder, some lightning, and some brief heavy rain, maybe some small hail. That threat just did not really take off like we thought it was going to. Models were actually showing across much of northern Ohio some discrete supercells at about 6 o'clock. It's now 7, and they have not developed, and I do not expect these things to develop. We were also expecting some storms that could produce some large hail across northern Ohio, and to date, we've really only had that one. Out towards Bryan, it looks like we did get a 1-inch hail report. So measured 1 inch there in Bryan. So had some pretty large hail out there. We'll flip back over here to our North Webster radar. Yeah, look at this. These are some really strong echoes. South side of Bryan, right along US 127, headed towards Ney. And towards the Defiance, well, maybe towards the Defiance Airport, probably just stay north of that, just east of Farmer there. These are some really, when you start getting here, we're looking at large hail for sure. These are some high decibel readings. So Pulaski along 127, just east of Farmer, moving east-southeast, Stryker, and I got to go to my bigger screen, Evansport, all kind of in that path. If you're pretty much along Route 6, to about Ridgeville Corners. This is heading your way. If it's not already impacting Stryker, it's going to shortly. It's also headed towards the south side of Archbold as well. The whole storm will affect Archbold, but the heaviest, the hail will probably end up just on the south side of it right now. So this right here really strong. That's some large hail coming down. I would not be surprised that we get a large hail report, larger than 1 inch there as well. If you haven't noticed, warnings are scrolling across the bottom of your screen. You'll also see the tornado watch that goes to 11 p.m. occasionally scrolling through there as well. I'm just kind of going through the chat here a little bit. Okay, so a couple of folks asked about radars in Ohio. Here's what we know real quick, and then we'll get to a new severe thunderstorm warning that just came in as well. What we know is that the Wilmington radar, so the radar that covers pretty much southwestern Ohio. Wilmington radar, right here, it's that red dot. We have we have 3 terminal Doppler weather radars that are associated with the Wilmington Weather Service. The terminal Doppler radars are not owned by the Weather Service. They're actually operated by the FAA, and they're owned by the FAA and maintained by the FAA. The Weather Service radars, well, that's the Weather Service, obviously. But they're having a communication issue with data getting out, so that's why this is offline. It's also affecting the terminal Doppler radars because whatever communication outlet they're using to send all that data is down. So we do not really have much to look at radar-wise here, so I can't pull that particular site up. It won't display anything. If we have to start talking about severe weather across southwestern Ohio, I can use another particular composite radar image, but it is not going to look very pretty because the next nearest radar is Indianapolis, a little bit of out of northern Indiana, Cleveland, a little bit out of Charleston, West Virginia, and then Louisville, Kentucky is pretty much what surrounds it. Nothing covers great. It's all going to be high stuff. So if we have to get there and talk about that, we will. All right, new severe thunderstorm warning, folks. For pretty much central and southeastern Portage County. That's going to go until 7:45. This storm's over Ravenna, moving east at 60 miles an hour with 60-mile-an-hour winds and quarter-size hail. It is tagged tornado possible, so we're going to keep an eye on that. Remember we talked about that a few minutes ago. And this is kind of how our storm out in Trumbull County started. Look at here. It's a little bit more discreet now. And we still have a little bit better hook. Stowe, Cuyahoga Falls, Talmadge, Kent. I know you guys are under severe thunderstorm warning, but you guys are clear, by the way. Just wanted to let you guys know if you're watching from there. Let's take a look at our velocity products here on this particular storm. Yeah, right over Rootstown, 76 and 44. Say hi to my son. He's right around there. New Milford, right in here. So we got some inflow here that's just starting to really kind of come into that storm. So we're going to watch this. It is trying to do something here, but nothing really concrete right now. It's just trying. It's just trying at the moment. Not a whole lot going on. So we have, this is County Road or Township Road 107. Then we have, I believe that is County Road 18. Here's 76. 224 is just a little bit further south. And then, yep, there we go. It's actually moved now. Now we're down towards industry there along County Road 47 and 107, it looks like. We'll move this. I'm going to get the setup eventually where I don't have to walk off the screen so much. This is all headed towards, I don't even know. Oh, okay. So we have Industry Road right now and just north of Cook. So Industry and Cook is kind of where our area of concern is. That is headed towards, it'll stay south of Edinburgh, and across State Route 183. A lot of rural area out here. It'll stay just north of Atwater. And let's get our reflectivity up here. This may reload here in just a second. We'll give that a second. But yeah, this is a nice little area of inflow in there from just a moment ago. This should update momentarily. We'll give it just a moment. We are going to watch it. I know it's generally not a very populated area, but as we get towards Deerfield there, you know, there is a bit of a population there, and it is heading that way. You know, it's pretty much paralleling the southwest side of State Route 14 at the moment. And yeah, that doesn't want to update for whatever reason, so we'll give it a moment. Let's go back to our velocity. Okay. There, good. Okay, here we go. So it did update. Storm don't look all that great. It really doesn't. It's not super strong. We do have our heavier rain area. This is probably our hail core, if you will, of this slightly odd looking supercell. It's probably not producing hail at this point. Probably just heavy rain. Here's our inflow area. Not a whole lot of wraparound. Not seeing much hooking like we were a moment ago. So we'll have to kind of just keep an eye on it at the moment and go from there. Here's our area of rotation. Again, it's pretty much now going to be just east of industry because it is still moving. And there we go. There's our update. And yeah, it's just east of industry. You can see not as defined as earlier. So it's trying to get its act together, but it's having a hard time really tapping into anything. So not really expecting, yeah, not expecting much out of that right now. That actually looks like it may actually be almost falling apart. We'll keep a close eye on it. The other storm that was in Trumbull County, it didn't look like much for a while until they issued that tornado warning, and then all of a sudden that storm just took off from there. So it can happen pretty quick. Just looking at a couple other things here, bear with me. Check out our chat here a little bit. We'll talk about, you know, where the storms will go. The tornado warning, someone asked about tornado warning. Tornado warning, there's no tornado warning in effect across Ohio right now. Great news, no tornado warning right now, so that's good. We'll kind of go over what we could expect for the rest of Ohio here shortly. I'm not really honestly expecting a ton of crazy action at the moment, but it's going to kind of depend on two things. It's going to depend on, I'm going to do this real fast. It's going to depend on the following. It's going to depend on what these storms here do as they move south, if they strengthen at all. We're really moving into a pretty favorable environment. Same with these storms. What do they do as they continue to move to the east, southeast, and inner northwestern Ohio? I don't think there's a huge tornado threat out here. At this point, with this becoming more of a line, the tornado threat should diminish. We could see some of those spin-ups along the front of a line, but we really weren't expecting that. These are fast-moving cells. So we really weren't expecting anything where we were going to see it. If we were going to see something like that, it was going to be very, very brief at best. But otherwise, it was large hail and then damaging winds eventually. We did get a new severe thunderstorm warning, and this is going to include the Toledo Metro. So we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Ottawa, northern Sandusky County, northeastern Wood County, and Lucas County until 8 o'clock. That's for that line out near Ottawa Lake and Blissford, all moving east at 65 miles an hour. 60-mile-an-hour winds and quarter-size hail right now, the threats on that. And actually, that's going to be for this storm here. We did get a couple other hail reports. Just to the east of Ridgeville Corners, we have a hail report of, I'm sorry, this is west, 4 miles west of Ridgeville Corners, 1 3/4 diameter hail. A couple 1-inch reports there. We got another 1-inch report up near Stryker. And actually, this particular cell is looking like it's trying to do something now, too. Okay. Well, you know what? That's because we're on a different... Let's try this. Let's go to northern Indiana, guys. Oh, okay. Here we go. That is right over Defiance. And you know what? We're going to watch this one. This one's looking more healthy. Really good inflow. Look at how defined the front edge of that is. Really good inflow. Big hail core just to the north of downtown Defiance. Moving towards, I believe that's US 24. And Jewel, it's right over, that's Brunnersburg there. And also moving towards Independence and Florida, Ohio. Did you know Florida was in Ohio by chance? I did know this, by the way. This, I believe, so our software here is depicting the front here, but these fronts, this isn't real time where the front and the low is. That lags a couple hours. And this may actually be rooted near the front. And if it is, this storm's going to keep going. It's basically just going to follow it. And that's a bit concerning because it could decide it wants to rotate. And that's what I want to check on this particular cell. Yeah, we do have some broad rotation with it, pretty much right over downtown Defiance, right here. So we got our inflow right over downtown Defiance. But look, we don't have any bright greens wrapping around yet. So this is just strong inflow right now going into that storm, and that's why we're seeing that real nice line. It's probably a wonderful looking shelf cloud right there right now, right along that line. But we'd want to see these bright greens over here somewhere, and we don't see any of that. We see these dark greens, and it's just, yes, it's particles moving in the opposite direction, but it's really slow. So we just don't see that at all. Nothing right there. So we'll keep an eye on it. But as of right now, yeah, it's a pretty good hailer with a very, very distinct kind of squall line look here. That is really what is. It's just a strong storm. I don't know what to say. I'm sorry, my kid's giggling over there like crazy. It's distracting me a little bit. All right, someone said something about western Cuyahoga County being sketchy. I'm gonna flip over here. Yeah, it's a strong storm. It's sitting right over the radar. It's a strong storm, but it's not severe. There's no warning on it or anything. Plenty of lightning with it. And probably some heavy wind and some heavy rain and some gusty winds, but nothing crazy. Did have a 3/4 inch hail report out of Trumbull County from earlier as well. And for our severe thunderstorm across southeastern Portage County, it goes until 7:45. I got a feeling they're going to let this puppy, they're going to cancel it beforehand. This whole thing has fallen apart. So I don't think that's going to do much here. We're going to stay with that storm there out in western Ohio at the moment, because that is honestly the strongest storm in the state, and it's probably one of the stronger storms we have right now. There's a couple real strong storms out in Indiana. Let me do this real quick. Indianapolis. There's a couple real strong storms out here. Let me see if this works. Didn't. Well, let's try it again one more time. Doop. Okay, well, we'll do it this way. There we go. So there's a tornado warning storm. This is Indiana. This is not Ohio. This is north of Indianapolis. There's a tornado warning storm out here that certainly looks, you know, pretty legitimate. And then we have this other severe thunderstorm. They have it marked as a considerable severe thunderstorm, and I don't know why. It looks like it was from perhaps a funnel cloud. It looks like out there earlier. Yeah, there was a funnel cloud report. With some debris. That was earlier. I don't know why this is marked considerable. I'm sorry, destructive storm. Yeah, I just don't see it. But there's something I'm missing there, I guess. But then there's this other cell up here, and that certainly has some rotation to it. Absolutely. Okay. So that's all out in Indiana. It is headed towards Ohio. Still some time for that to change. And we'll see what happens with that. But right now, we're just going to stick with this particular storm. That's not what I want to do. Moving off into the Toledo area. There's a nice little cell there up in pretty much just north of the state line, Bedford Township, Michigan, coming out of Whiteford Township there. That's a nice little cell with some hail. That may skirt the state line there as it heads towards the western basin of Lake Erie. So if you're up in this area, do be cautious of that. There's Toledo. It'll stay north of Toledo. It's going to be this stuff off to the west. That's west of Swanton, over Wauseon, Napoleon right now, coming out of Defiance. Again, this is just a really strong looking cell. Not as strong as it was earlier with some of that hail, but it's still producing hail. I think inch to perhaps inch and a half is certainly possible with that. We had that 1 3/4 inches there at Ridgeville Corners, not just west of Ridgeville Corners, not too long ago. Check a couple other things here as we go, and okay, yep, not too much else there. That's good. So we'll stay on as long as we can here. Hail Napoleon, yep. It's just starting in Liberty Center. Yep, that sounds about right. That was from a short time ago. Well, Liberty Center getting hit now. My bad. Napoleon's really getting hit. I know a lot of people asking about other places. Again, I can't cover every place you guys ask, unfortunately. It just doesn't work that way. There's really not a whole lot going on. And again, with this, with what's going on currently with the setup, here's kind of the problem. We expected bigger coverage at this point in the evening here with these storms. There's Evan again. He's looking a little tired, isn't he, guys? Not sure what happened with that ticker there and why the text went all like wonky on us. But anyways, we expected a lot more coverage, and we don't have it really at the moment. So it's kind of like, okay, well, what's going to happen in my neighborhood and when? Well, I could tell you what a couple models say, but right now, they're kind of out the window. I hate to say it. They're kind of out the window, guys. I'm going to transition something here real quick. I just want to see now it didn't change it. Okay. See if I can't refresh that at all. Nope. Okay. I don't know why. There it goes. There goes the text. I don't know why it was doing that. That was weird. I apologize. So yeah, it's really hard to say. Well, here's what I think is going to happen and when we're pretty much doing what we call that kind of nowcasting. We're talking about what's happening right now, but I can't really tell you too much in the future as to what's happening because, well, the models have all this fun weather happening right now in places where it's not happening at all. So, yeah, you know what? Let's take a look at that. We can take a look at that real quick. Let's take a look at that. So this is a high resolution model. You can see, look at all this coverage. It's not raining in most of these places like this. It's not. These big storms that were up here earlier, where are they? They're not there. Not sure why that doesn't want to, oh, I know why that doesn't want to loop. Let's go back and do 21Z. There we go. We'll do this one. It's not a complete, but we'll loop this one here. And you can see big storms. Look at these big storms blowing up. It's not there. The coverage is not there at all. So unless something happens here in the next hour, At best, that solution, it's gone. It's out. Let me span this out a little bit so you folks in Southern Ohio that I know are watching can see this as well. And yeah, I mean, it's just, this coverage is just not there. And those were some discrete supercells they had across the lakeshore that just never really developed. Yeah, none of that. The coverage is just not there for all that. We will get rain. Don't get me wrong. We will get rain and we'll see some storms, but we don't have that sort of coverage. Let's try another model. Let's try this one here. That one's complete. That's good. This one's going to update a little different. It's a sub-hourly model, so it actually has 15-minute increments. And again, look, it had all these cells. There's that cell there. Look, it still has them blowing up and really covering a lot of the state overnight, into the overnight rather. And then all this rain's going to move in overnight. There is the potential, if this does happen, there is potential for flooding across much of central Ohio. So that's something I have to keep an eye on because there is a good potential for that. But we'll let this loop just again, we just don't see all this coverage. And unless this really develops across Western Ohio shortly, and we've been tracking some of those storms, and unless that happens in the next hour or so, it's really hard to say what's going to happen at that point. Because again, the model at that point is just being too aggressive with this development and versus what's happening out in the real world here and what we're seeing on radar happening, they're just not jiving. And it happens. That happens with this. It's why you can't take what a model shows verbatim. All the models are pretty good in showing a very robust severe event happening. So it's like, okay, good. I got confidence and it's actually happening. Excellent. But they just didn't quite. They just didn't quite transpire earlier. So we'll go on back here, and yeah, you can see there's the coverage that we had was a bigger line out here, right? We had a much bigger line. This was going to catch up and it just make this big, huge line. It's trying to. But unless we see development here in about the next hour or so, as this continues into portions of northwestern or west central Ohio, if we don't see that, then coverage is going to be a lot less. Again, that's great. That means not a lot of damage and things like that. Weather Service in Cleveland is continuing to issue out way ahead of this line of storms, and now we have a big, huge mega warning. Severe thunderstorm warning for Seneca, northwestern Wyandotte, southwestern Sandusky, Wood County, Hancock County, and southwestern Lucas County until 8:15 p.m. We're looking at a lot of this, a little bit bigger hail now, 1.5 inch hail possible, and wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour currently is what we're looking at there. I think you guys can see some of that. It's kind of cool. This will show like population affected, homes affected, cell towers. I don't know how many paging transmission towers are left out there, but apparently it's more than cell towers. How many schools are in it? That's pretty cool. I haven't had a chance to really play around with this too much, but that is pretty neat. Okay, some good information. So that's what this line of storms out here. 3/4 inch hail. Also reported west of White House there not so long ago. Still a good hailer out of Holgate headed towards Deschler. But this is starting to transition more to a line event. And we also have some a nice storm there up in Toledo. Could be some strong winds along that. Oregon, Northwood, right there along 280, headed towards, it's Toledo Executive now, I believe, or what used to be Metcalf. And then out towards Millbury a little bit are all going to see part of that storm. You'll see some wind with that for sure. That is going to happen. And some small hail, though. It looks like we did have 3/4 inch hail there right on, we'll call it in Toledo. That was estimated, not measured. So probably pretty close. Temperatures out ahead of this line are much cooler, low 50s, upper 40s, and then this is just nuts. Whew, man, these are weird. So here's what we have. We have Findlay 52, Fremont's 48, Ottawa's 54. You take a short trip down 75, and it's 78 in Lima. It's 79 in Van Wert. I mean, that's nuts. It's over 20 degrees difference. So it'd be very interesting to see how these storms respond as they move. But it sounds like or looks like rather, there's cold air out ahead of this line, which could act to stabilize some of this and therefore weaken these storms as well. I got to jump offline. Give me just a moment, folks. All right, everybody say night-night, Evan. Can you say night-night? Can you say bye? Say bye-bye. He's not very happy. Okay, yeah, it's about bedtime for him. He's having lots of fun though, and that is, yes, he's sometimes a little helper and sometimes not. But anyway, let's talk. So we kind of talked about the rest of the state. It's really hard because the models have so much coverage on the storms. So it's again, it makes it really difficult to say, well, here's what's going to happen because I have model data that supports it. We don't have that. We have this mess out in northeastern Ohio. It's just heavy rain, some occasional thunder and lightning. Heaviest cells up here in Lake County. Lake County, part of the far northern part of Geauga County, near Montville, Madison. That's moving east. But it's chilly up here, so it could be some small hail with that. You're in the mid-40s in Willoughby, 48 down Richmond Heights, 44 downtown Cleveland. Oh man, it gets much colder. It's going to be snow. It's cooler here too, although this is quite interesting. 58 Ravenna, then you get down towards Akron. This is Akron Fulton, it's Akron Canton, it's 73 and 72 respectively. Wow, that is a major change in temperature across a very short area. I mean, we're talking almost 20 degrees temperature difference in a very short period. But these aren't really doing too much. They haven't been. I don't expect them to. So there'll be some moderate to briefly heavy rain and some gusty winds, and that's really about it with this mess of showers and storms, I guess. We'll keep an eye on the one up there in Lake County, but I don't expect that to really turn into much. Down towards Ashland and Mansfield, there's a nice cell right over Mansfield Airport right now, just north of downtown along State Route 13. That's a pretty nice cell right here, but again, below severe levels, heavy rain, maybe some small hail, and perhaps some gusty winds. Ashland up 71 towards Lodi, it's mainly moderate, briefly heavy rain. Again, maybe a good wind gust or two here and there, but again, nothing severe. And as you go inland, I mean, obviously there's nothing, further south you go, we'll turn on the composite here, and that didn't make much of a difference. There's nothing really going on down there. Again, we don't have the radar out of Wilmington, so we lack some coverage, but right now there's nothing going on down there. If this continues to develop, and it's not looking very promising, then we'll see additional storms move in, but right now it's this line up here in northwestern Ohio. We'll watch these cells out here in Indiana as well. Let me actually just turn the radar on. We'll watch these cells. These are all kind of discrete cells. We'll see what they do. Right now there's no warnings on any of them. Our tornado warning's gone, our severe thunderstorm warnings are gone. All that's gone. So they did produce some hail and some wind damage, but that's been about it at the moment. Nothing crazy, and they're just not getting going. So right now, again, our strongest cell is it's out here into northwest Ohio, moving into Toledo area towards Bowling Green, Findlay, North Baltimore, impacting Deschler right now. Northern Indiana and Cleveland, the radar kind of shoots high here. So the radar beam out here is already quite high. The radar coverage out in northwestern Ohio is pretty much atrocious. We can't see down low really below about 7,000 to 8,000 feet. So we're going to see these higher returns like we see here over Deschler. There's definitely some hail still being lofted up there and eventually maybe falling out as well. Again, this is all becoming more linear. So it's more straight line wind damage potential than it is so much hail at this point. So as this continues towards Findlay and Fostoria and we got Woodville out here, this will become more of a wind damage threat than it will a hail threat. Still hail though right here. Could still see some hail up here just east of Toledo, but that portion's pretty much going to move over the lake, I believe. We'll kind of keep an eye on that. Let's go over to the Cleveland radar again because we're shooting kind of high up here. The Cleveland radar has a little bit lower beam height, but not a lot. And yeah, it's pretty similar. So some strong winds there. Let's focus up here on the top portion of the line here. Right around Curtis, moving out of over Niles Beach, just north of Millbury, and moving towards looks like Lakemont Landing. I don't know what some of these places are, but that's going to be some straight line wind damage there. Again, that's inflow along the front of this storm, so probably a good shelf cloud right there. Of course, it's dark out at this point. You're probably not really going to see too much of it. And then right over Niles Beach there, we do have the potential for some hail there as well. Maybe a little bit here, but this is probably more heavy rain than it is hail right now. So that's what we have there. And then as we head south, and they did just update that severe thunderstorm warning there. As we head south, really it's over Deschler, Leipzig, and heading towards, coming out of Ottawa, heading towards Macomb, Benton Ridge, Gilboa. That's a pretty nice hail core here right now. Actually, we'll pull that up and see what it might look like as well. And well, that's behind. That's way behind. I don't know why that's so far behind, but anyways, that cell's not there anymore. Okay, well, so much for that. I think the hail size will be smaller. It should not be bigger than an inch. You have 3/4 to an inch is what I expect. I actually did get an inch report not long ago out of Northwood. A couple 3/4 inch reports otherwise. So that's what I'm expecting with that. This severe thunderstorm warning here goes until 8:15. Again, that's for Seneca, northwestern Wyandotte, southwestern Sandusky, Wood, Hancock, and southwestern Lucas County. We do have a separate warning that goes until 8 o'clock for Ottawa, northern Sandusky, northeastern Wood, and northeastern Lucas counties. And again, that's for basically this cell moving out of east of Toledo there. I would expect, as long as that holds up, that the Weather Service will continue to issue out well ahead of that. I do want to go out east. They did issue a special weather statement for this cell moving towards Jefferson, just moving out of Madison and Thompson. They issued this special weather statement for some small hail up to 3/4 inch and wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour. 3/4 inch is about penny sized. That cell is moving east at 85 miles an hour, according to the Weather Service. So about the speed of traffic on 90 up in this area is what the cell is moving at. It'll look stationary to you. Looking at the chat here, someone said there's marble-sized hail in Oregon. Hi, Oregon. How big are your marbles? Because marbles don't have a standard size. Findlay gonna get the hail. Findlay, you might get the hail. Something we're gonna keep an eye on. Actually, I lied about the warnings off into Indiana earlier. They still are there. Yeah, Findlay, you're gonna get that hail soon. You're probably gonna get it in about the next 10 minutes. Maybe a little less than that. Looks like we've got a wind report out of southwest of Brunswick with trees and power lines down Marks Road between Sleepy Hollow and Gayer. That's just outside of the Valley City, I believe. We'll probably see some warnings get issued for Western Ohio here north of Greensville and towards Salina there shortly. There are some severe thunderstorm warnings along the border. I'm looking at some other hail reports out of the Defiance area. It's mainly inch for the most part. Had some trees down in Bryan earlier. That's kind of what we're looking at here. Dime-size hail in Ottawa. So for Findlay, I think the hail it won't be massive. I think it'll be under an inch for the most part, but it could be close to an inch. Again, we'll kind of watch this cell up here. It's Jefferson towards Lennox Township out of Morgan, just north of Roaming Shores, and then heading towards State Route 11 in Dorset there. Ashtabula, I think, stays just outside of that. Looks like it. Not that one. Our severe thunderstorm warning in Portage County, they're just going to let that expire, I guess. It expires in 5 minutes. But you guys are all clear from that storm earlier. It basically collapsed. It's pretty much gone. The biggest thing right here is up here, Bowling Green along I-75 from about Findlay on up towards Toledo right now. Really getting some heavy rain and some hail and some gusty winds. I do want to come over here. I know you guys can't see it a ton. Let's pull up the northern Indiana radar. So here's a cell coming out of Indiana, just north of Portland, Indiana, along US 27. It has a severe thunderstorm warning on it. A little bit of a hook action here, though. I don't understand what's going on with the ticker down there, why it keeps changing to text. We'll have to look into that. Hasn't changed too much, though. It's mostly this radio watch. It's streaming. That goes until 11 p.m. This here is got a nice little inflow notch and everything, so we'll keep an eye on that. But it is heading towards Western Ohio, towards Fort Recovery, and maybe Salina, though I think it misses Salina at this point. But Coldwater, you guys are going to start being in the path of that, so we're going to keep an eye on that as it crosses the state line here, probably in about the next 5 to 10 minutes. There is a hail report on it, 3/4 inch hail, so it is producing some hail. But let's see. Yeah, that's really about all that's going on with it at the moment. The severe thunderstorm warning actually expires in about 20 minutes. I take that back. They did tag it tornado possible though, so we'll keep an eye on this particular cell. Again, it does have a little bit of a hook on it. It's still off in Indiana. Little bit of rotation with it. It's more shear-like, so it's not quite wrapped in yet, but does have a history of producing some large hail back towards portions of east central Indiana. Let's go back over to our Cleveland radar, and looks like they just updated the severe thunderstorm warning there a moment ago. They did. Line's moving east at 70 miles per hour. Ping pong ball size hail, that's 1.5 inches, and 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Yeah, that's hitting Macomb right now. It's along 224 between Gilboa and I-75, pretty much all right in there. Headed towards Benton Ridge and, yep, downtown Findlay, folks. So if you're in Findlay, that hail is headed your way. North Baltimore could see some hail. Also some heavy rain, strong winds. Bowling Green could see some hail as well, although it'd be more on the south side of town toward Portage and Rudolph. And Toledo, for the most part, good news up there is that storm is winding down. This cell up here coming into Graytown towards Rocky Ridge and Oak Harbor, that's got some pretty good winds along the front of it there. Yeah, it's got some decent winds along the front of it. Nothing crazy. We're not talking like 70 plus miles an hour or anything like that. We're probably talking up to about 60. But it may even be a little bit less than that. The threat of that was hail earlier, and we're still seeing some of that up here along Howard Farms Beach, Reno Beach, headed towards Long Beach and Sand Beach there. So it pretty much just skirt the lake shore as it heads east-southeast. May impact Port Clinton. We'll keep an eye on that. So you see, not a whole lot else going on further east. It's pretty quiet. Our cell out here in Ashtabula County is, well, it's doing its thing. It's just about to cross over State Route 11 there near Lennox Township in Dorset. Not really doing a whole lot right now. Let me back up here. There we go. Heavy rain, maybe some small hail, and some gusty winds. That's really about it with this particular cell. It's kind of moving off to the east southeast a little bit. That'll get into northwest Pennsylvania there near Linesville in pretty short order actually. It's right over Route 11 right now, so it'll get there in pretty short order. They did just update the special weather statement. You don't see a whole lot of that, but the other one was expiring. They say it's moving east at 90 miles an hour, so about the speed of Interstate 90. They fly through there. If it really is moving east at 90 miles an hour, boy, it is hauling. And you think, well, isn't that producing some strong winds? It's cell movement, so it's not necessarily, that's not an equivalent wind. That's going to affect US 6, Pierpont, Richmond, Dorset, and Andover. Really, in just the next couple minutes, if it's moving at 90 miles an hour, at that rate, it should be off into Pennsylvania in about the next 5. And they actually issued their own special weather statement out there. Not that one. How about this one? The Cleveland Weather Service still out here. They said they're tracking a line from Erie to Harmersburg or near Kinsman. I guess they're tracking this one here along I-79. And they're saying it's moving a lot slower. So I don't really know what's going on there. Southern Geauga County along 422, Bainbridge towards Auburn Center, Auburn Corners, over there near Ladue Reservoir. There's a nice little cell there producing some heavy rain. Boardman area got some heavy rain towards Struthers, Canfield, Poland, and Lowellville. Some heavy rain up towards Newton Falls. Akron's getting some moderate to heavy rain down towards Greene and Greensburg. And then just south of Ashland, Hayesville, Jeromesville. Not much else down there. Towards Mohicanville, some moderate to heavy rain, maybe some small hail. Again, moderate, maybe briefly heavy bursts of rain around Mansfield. And then we get out to northwest Ohio, and here's our severe storm moving into Findlay. Findlay definitely going to get some hail out of this. Looks like they did not issue actually they did issue a severe thunderstorm warning. Let's go over here. Northern Indiana. I want to take a look at this. Coming out of the Portland area, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for northwestern Shelby, northern Dark, southwestern Auglaize, and Mercer County until 8:30 p.m. Ping pong ball size hail, that's 1.5 inch size. 60-mile-an-hour winds are the primary threats. They did tag it tornado possible. So we still kind of got this hook echo feature. It's 80 in Portland, Indiana. My goodness, it's 80 degrees at what? Almost 8. It's 8:40. It's 7:45. I take that back. So there's this nice inflow here. This nice inflow notch. So nice hail core as well. Pretty classic supercell look. That's headed towards Fort Recovery. Probably stay Coldwater, probably get the hail core. Saline is included in the warning, but you're going to get some moderate to heavy rain out of it. And that's a Bye. Okay, bye-bye. Hi guys, I'm back. I didn't realize it was my minute there. The batteries died. I'm so sorry. That was my that was my son who's watching. That's what we got going on there. I am so sorry. Let me go over this again here, and I will I'll do what I can. All right. I got a whole bunch of stuff here. Probably got everybody trying to tell me, hey, I can't hear you. Yes, okay. All right, so we got a couple things. Some of our team members are watching too in the background. Yeah, okay, things are starting to get going now. So we talked about this earlier. Things are starting to get going. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning still in effect for parts of Seneca, northwestern Wyandotte, and southwestern Sandusky counties, including southeastern Wood and eastern Hancock counties. That goes for just a few more minutes. I do anticipate them issuing another warning here. So we got a couple more coming. It's going to get a little busy, guys. Bear with me and I'll do the best I can. I want to go back to the storm near Warren. Check this out. Eastern side of Nelson Township, heading towards Southington, right along State Route 305, coming up towards 534, excuse me, around State Route 534. I got a lot of people message me on the weather. My bad. This particular cell is trying to hook. And let's take a look at it here. Not showing anything on the velocity right now. Nothing. There was an update and nothing at all. Okay. But that doesn't mean it's not. Does not mean it's not. And we kind of saw this with that cell earlier through Trumbull County. So it looked similar to this, but nothing on velocity until later. But some inflow here. Here's our hail core. It is basically a mini supercell at this point with this inflow notch and everything. So we'll keep an eye on this. This is just to the east side of Nelson Township here. Here's State Route 305. Garrettsville, you guys are in the clear. Parkman, you guys are in the clear. Anybody west of State Route 88 is in the clear right now from this severe thunderstorm warning. So that particular cell, it's heading up towards Champion Heights, Champion Township, and then also again Southington, probably getting a little bit of hail right now, or at least some heavy rain. And then this will start impacting the north side of the Warren area, State Route 5 and 82 there. Really in probably about the next 10 minutes or so. It is moving pretty quick to the southeast. I'm going to keep an eye on that one. Someone talked about Mercer County. I'm going to jump out west real quick. That's our storm out here, so we're going to look at northern Indiana. And this storm continues. It's over Coldwater right now. The brunt of it's over Coldwater at the moment. There's some hail there along 219, headed towards Coldwater, just out of Macedon there, it looks like. I might have pronounced that wrong. Just north of Fort Recovery is kind of where this interesting area is where, oh yeah, there is definitely something trying here. Check this out. We do have a broad kind of area of rotation. So we kind of got these two areas right here. They're basically blobs almost kind of dancing around each other right now. If these start coming together, we're going to see some rotation pretty quick right there. But I do want to be careful because this could also be indicative of something else like a downburst as well. So we're going to kind of just watch that here and see what happens. Actually, let's put this into motion real quick. Well, let's hit the right button and put it into motion. And I'm going to kind of see what happens here because it actually could be a downburst. Yeah, I think that's a downburst. Here's why I think this is a downburst. It's out ahead of it, it stays out ahead of it, and it continues going. This may be a microburst that we're seeing in progress right here. So this is actually winds doing this. So really they're going away from one another instead of going towards it. So that may actually be a downburst instead, which would be quite interesting because honestly the reflectivity doesn't really reflect that. But where it's at, that is certainly possible. So again, it's got supercellular-like characteristics. It's a discrete storm. Yeah, that's certainly possible. Could be downburst. Could be downburst. We'll keep an eye on that one. We do have some other damage reports up in, looks like Allen County. Tree snapped on a tree down on a home in Gomer. There's our semi blown over. And then that's about it. Oh, 1.75" hail in North Baltimore. Really Van Buren. Inch hail in Macomb, Hancock County. Bunch of inch hail reports right around Toledo. Anywhere from 3/4 inch to 1 inch. Okay, here it is. There we go. They're going to go ahead and they're going to warn it. We got a new tornado warning here for Shelby County, northwestern Shelby County, northeastern Darke County, southwestern Auglaize County, and southern Mercer County. That's a tornado warning. It goes until 8:45 p.m. It is radar indicator rotation, some golf ball size hail. That's 1.75 inches. And let's take a look at what that's going to affect. It's right over Coldwater, guys, pretty much. So coming out of St. Peter and St. Joseph and headed towards St. Henry. That Philothea, I believe is what that is. I'm not real sure. I can't say I've seen that one before. And that is heading mainly towards a lot of smaller little areas, small towns, townships, things like that. Sebastian's, Chickasha, Maria Stein, St. Rose, Casella, I believe is that right? Montezuma is going to get the hail. And as you go further out, New Bremen and Minster, Fort Laramie, all in on that. I'm not so sure that New Weston and North Star are going to see a ton off of it, but don't let your guard down. Fort Recovery, it's pretty much moving out of there right now. Sharpsburg, it's north of you. It'd have to take a massive hard right turn to hit you. Cranberry Prairie, anything along 127 from basically Montezuma south towards North Star right now, impacted by that tornado warning at the moment. And that may very well decide it wants to. Yep, there we go. Here we go. So if we take this out of it, it is trying to do something here. So we do have something trying to now rotate here, just east of Fourth Recovery and just to the southwest of Coldwater. So we'll keep an eye on that there. It's nothing nothing strong, but certainly worth noting. Yep, same here. Our rotation product it shows some things kind of coming together. And this is interesting here. This is interesting. I don't like this. Well, it went away. Okay, we got another tornado warning that was just issued too. I don't know why that went away, but it showed an area of potential debris. Let me look and see what we have here. I want to make sure it's not this one. It's not. We do have another tornado warning. Oh, this is going to be out in Holmes County, guys. I was going to get here. Wow. Okay, tornado warning for Holmes County until 8:30 p.m. And for Holmes County, if you're in western Holmes County, Nashville, Glenmont, and out towards the Loudonville area, this does not affect you. So this is radar indicated rotation, 1 inch size hail possible, and again, that tornado. So here's what we're looking at. It's right over Holmesville right now, State Route 83, north of Millersburg, headed towards Martinsville, Benton, Freiburg, Mount Hope, Miller's Corners, Bunker Hill, the Berlin area basically is what it's heading towards. And we do have another tornado warning now. Boy, things just lit up in a hurry. Okay, getting real busy here. Let's take a look at, let's see. Wow, big one, guys, big one. Okay. A tornado warning now also in effect for northern Marion County, southern Wyandotte County, northwestern Morrow County, southern Crawford County until 8:45 p.m. It is radar indicated rotation, inch size hail possible, and that's a big one here. This is going to affect some populated areas. It's pretty much, look at this, right over Upper Sandusky, along the west side, the 30-23 split basically, just south of there. That's going to affect the south side of Upper Sandusky. And then it's going to head towards Little Sandusky and Harpster, Wyandotte, not far out of there. This is headed towards Bucyrus. Not sure how it's going to affect Bucyrus yet. Marion, you are in the tornado warning, but I'm not real sure if it's going to make it to you. Same with Big Island. We will kind of watch it there for you. Clarendon, Denmark, Iberia, and of course eventually towards Galleon and the Crestline area could be impacted by that storm. It does look to be producing some hail. Let's also take a look at the velocity here. And yes, okay, yep. So just like the reflectivity product, yeah, we do have it's a little bit broad right now, but here is our area of rotation right now. A little bit broad, but that could come together. Oh man, blink of an eye, to be honest with you. Our rotation product not showing a whole lot there, but that's not always the most accurate. I don't like the look of this. I just don't. I'm not so sure how accurate this is. So this is correlation coefficient. Basically, how well does what the radar pick up, how well does it correlate with the other things around it it's picking up? When they don't correlate well, you get a low return. You get this blue right here. When everything is fairly similar, like rain, you're getting these reds and oranges and yellows. This might be hail. I just can't see that being debris. It's very close to that hook though, and I don't like it. But I'm thinking that's hail. It's right over Upper Sandusky right now. That's our area of rotation. And yeah, our velocity product hasn't quite picked up. There it goes. Yeah, Upper Sandusky needs to take shelter right now. Anything along 23 and 30 needs to take shelter out towards the Bucyrus area on 30 and then towards Marion. Again, just a quick reminder here, if you are under one of these tornado warnings, where do you take shelter? You want the lowest level of your home, preferably a basement. If you don't have a basement, the lowest level of your home, first floor. Interior room is great. You definitely want that, the most interior room on the lowest level of your home. If you are in an apartment building, say on the second floor, third floor, and you can't do anything downstairs, there's nowhere to go downstairs on the lowest level, get the most interior room on that in where you're at, the most interior portion where you're at. The idea is to put as many walls and doors between you and windows and exterior walls. Try to get off the top floor. Definitely not the best place to be in any building because of the potential for the roof to be compromised. So lowest level, that's where you want to go. Everything is scrolling on our ticker here at the bottom of your screen as well. And hopefully the text works right. We're going to look into that. I'm not sure why it was doing some of those funky things earlier. But we will definitely look into that. Right now we got 3 tornado warnings going. Things got busy in a hurry. So let's take a look real quick at our area out here near Millersburg, Martinsville, heading towards Berlin, Bunker Hill, and Mount Hope. If you are along Highway 77 there, or County Route 77, whatever you're going to call it, you need to be taking shelter right now. I know we probably don't have a lot of viewers out that way. And let's even extend that out towards State Route 515 that goes through Trail here and down towards Walnut Creek. So if you are along 39th in Berlin and Walnut Creek as well, I'd be taking shelter along 77 from 39 on up towards Mount Hope. I'd be taking shelter and anywhere over there. I Walnut Creek for sure. It's heading your way. The good news here, in a sense, is that we don't have any crazy areas of rotation. Yeah, I don't particularly think that product's right, but we do have this nice inflow notch. This is all a bit broad right now, but we do have this real nice inflow notch, and it is really trying to wrap in. Here's our hail core, the northern part of Holmes County. This is County Road 77 right here. It comes out of Berlin, right over there by what used to be Schrock's. I guess that's still Schrock's, I don't know. Up towards Bunker Hill, that's Heine's Cheese and all of that. Miller's Corners, Mount Hope is here. And then you got on up into southern Wayne County up there. And eventually that road takes you to the US 250. I've been down that road a few times. But anyway, So you got Berlin. You guys are going to be impacted by this, especially the north side. 201's a pretty heavily traveled road from 62 up towards Freiburg, and then that goes on up towards Fredericksburg. Fredericksburg, you're out of this. You're not in this at all. And there's our new update here, and this is now starting to wrap in right around Berlin, Bunker Hill. It's crossing 201 right now. Our hail core out here is pretty much Mount Hope to Weinsberg. So right along, that's County Road 160, and it's also impacting parts of US 62 coming out of Weinsberg. And this is a bit concerning because that did wrap in pretty nice. And I am a little bit concerned about that particular one. Our reflectivity product hasn't updated yet. Let's give it a moment here and see if it updates. If you're in Tuscarawas County, you're going to want to keep an eye on this cell, especially if you're in the northwestern portion of Tuscarawas County. So Dundee, Sugar Creek, Shanesville, and probably, I believe, what am I missing here? I'm going to move this real quick. Sorry, guys. There's really not much out here. Bars Mills, Winklepeck Grove. We won't call Dover on it yet. Not yet. It's a little far. It's going to change a lot. Yeah, there's our update. And here's the velocity update. Well, okay. Okay, yeah, excellent. Okay, so yeah, this is kind of confirming everything here. I don't like that. So here's our rotation project. Again, we start seeing these bright colors kind of off by themselves, like this here. I'm sorry, I didn't move the screen. Like this right here, ignore some of that. When we start seeing this, that's telling me there is a decent bit of rotation happening. There's another little spot up there near Mount Hope, but I'm not so sure that's doing a ton up there. It's possible because that's right where the inflow's coming in, but it may just be the way that's showing. But here's what we're looking at here. Our rotation is just on the, well, it's pretty much right over Berlin right now. It's already moved, and there's our rotation. We did get another tornado warning coming in here too, and it's going to be an update on this one. So it remains in effect till 8:30 for Holmes County. Still radar indicated tornado. Walnut Creek, Farmerstown around 8:25 for you guys. Walnut Creek, Trail, Farmerstown. Yeah, Farmerstown, I'd take shelter. Unionville, pretty, you know what, honestly, if you're anywhere along 39 towards Sugar Creek, I would take shelter right now. So anywhere from roughly Trail on 515 south to Walnut Creek, along 39 all the way to the county line, should be taking shelter right now with that particular storm. That is looking really, really good. I hate to leave this one, but I do want to continue to watch. There's a good hail cell right over Weinsberg right now. I do want to go back over to the upper Sandusky system here. This looked like it gusted out a little bit. No, we still actually do have some decent rotation. It's east of 23, just south of 30, coming out of upper Sandusky right now, headed towards Wyandotte, Nevada, and towards the Bucyrus area. It's either a Manet or a Manette, and I don't know all these little town names. I wish I did. One day, that's my goal. And there's still a decent hail core up near Nevada coming out of upper Sandusky as well. So that particular warning still in effect. They now have not updated it yet. If you are west of upper Sandusky, the tornado warned part of the storm is now east of you, and you are in the clear. If you're in Millersburg, you're in the clear from that tornado warning, by the way. I also want to go back out to northern Indiana. This is going to start getting tricky, guys. Our tornado warning out here for Shelby, Dark, Auglaize, and Mercer County. There are portions thereof till 8:45. Weather Service Cleveland's issuing this one, but they're dealing with two other warnings themselves in their own area, so it's going to be tough. And we are looking way high on the velocity now. Yeah, it just doesn't look that great. Let's see here. No, that doesn't look good either. Okay. It's going to be real hard as we get into southwestern Ohio with some of these storms. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for northern Preble County and Darke County until 9 o'clock. For 1-inch hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds for this storm that's coming out of Indiana here near Winchester and Lynn along 27. So that's going to start impacting Western Ohio again. We are going to have a real tough time with that. Oh, nice. Okay. Because of the radar outage down there. Not a good time for it, unfortunately. And that was, okay, so from earlier to Fowler Township, they had a report of a roof landed in a cornfield, 2-story residential structure well built. That's that possible tornado from the tornado out there just north of Vienna. Right here along Caldwell out. That was right where that storm was, absolutely just northeast of the airport there. We do have this severe thunderstorm warning for the cell moving across the airport right now through Vienna, Howland Township. Remember, it was tagged tornado possible. We were kind of looking at it with some rotation and everything, and I need to actually go back to the Cleveland radar here, my bad. And that's just not, it's just pretty much falling apart at this point. All right, we either got an update on a tornado warning or a new tornado warning here, guys. Let's see what's flashing. Update on a tornado warning out here in Western Ohio for northwestern Shelby, northeastern Dark, southwestern Auglaize, and southeastern Mercer County. Still radar indicated rotation, 1 3/4 or golf ball size hail is possible with that storm. It is headed towards the Sydney area and I-75 from roughly Anna down towards the Sydney area. So we're going to continue to watch this, but again, we are getting into an area where radar is going to be very, very, very sketchy. We're shooting way high with Cleveland. It can see it, but it's way high. See how messy all that is? We got a lot of just slop in there because it's just so high up. So we're not going to get good returns on that. Let me try to click that off. There we go, because I don't want that. Let's see, was that causing some of that mess? Oh, a little bit, but not much. We just can't see much up high. It's just rough. It looks like we got some damage reports too. We'll go over those in a little bit near Kenton and Lima from earlier. I do want to come up here towards the west side of, approaching the west side of Cleveland, if you will. Norwalk, Milan, Huron seen a pretty decent storm. That's moving into Vermilion and Florence, Berlin Heights, excuse me. And we also have some storms out ahead of that impacting Avon Lake, Lorraine, Sheffield, Elyria, and Amherst. Starting to hear some thunder here as well from that. But that should not be too crazy. We do have, oh, that's interesting. Wasn't expecting that. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning that affects Southern Carroll, Northern Harrison County, Western Jefferson County, and much of Tuscarawas County until 9:15 p.m. Inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds is what they're calling for. Not tagged tornado possible, guys. I'm not really sure what they're seeing different in Pittsburgh than they're seeing in Cleveland. But I don't agree with that. Even based on here, there's a nice inflow notch there. Pretty much right over Sugar Creek right now. That thing is flying. Okay, so Strasburg. You guys are going to get hit with the hail. Paral, Dover, Sugar Creek right now. You're not seeing a whole lot. That inflows right over you. This is headed towards New Philadelphia, Barnhill, Goshen, Roswell, Midvale, and then eventually on towards Sherrodsville, Leesville, the Leesville Lake area, perhaps Delroy, Bowerston, Conotton, Scioto. Carrollton, you are in the severe thunderstorm warning. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to impact you yet. And then as we get on out into Jefferson County and stuff, we're going to wait on some of this out here, because this storm could do a lot of things. They do have Bolivar, Mineral City, Zorville, Sandyville, all in this. You'll see some effects from this. I think better Zor to Zorville right now along State Route 212 probably has a better chance of seeing some of that than anything much north. Bolivar, you guys are getting a nice little storm that extends off towards East Sparta, parts of Magnolia and Waynesburg, but a lot of that is non-severe. It's a nice little line. The tornado warning here expires in 3 minutes. Yeah, that is interesting. I'm not sure why the weather service in Pittsburgh did not see a need, because I mean, I get it's a hard area with radar up here. Being from this particular area, I totally understand, you know, or here it's a little bit difficult at times, but really the radar beam from either site isn't all that bad. So I'm not really sure what exactly. I mean, the rotation certainly is weakened, but it's still kind of there. And there's still a nice inflow notch and a bit of a hook. I wouldn't be surprised if they come back and issue. I would not be surprised if they come back and issue on that one. All right, let's look at our cell coming out into Bucyrus. Bucyrus getting some hail. Here's this tornado warning still in effect, about another 15 minutes, so that'll take us to about 8:45. We're looking in the Bucyrus, Marion area, towards Caledonia and Clarendon, southeast of Upper Sandusky. If you are in Upper Sandusky, this tornado warning, you're still in the polygon, but you guys are in the clear. And let's take a look at our velocity on this. And it's more linear now, which is good in a sense, but we still kind of got this large notch. So we got everything moving basically here in, and then stuff moving here. Doesn't take much for it to wrap around. There's Marion Airport, and that's about where if anything was going to happen, if it were to wrap in, it'd be right there, or just east of there towards Caledonia. But right now we don't quite have that, so this is a lot of wind damage potential right now, and hail up in Bucyrus is what we're seeing. But you know, they'll probably maintain the tornado warning and just let it expire if it doesn't decide to do anything. But if it does decide to do something, it would happen very, very fast, right along the front of that little line right there. That's along 23 south of Wyandotte and north of Marion, headed towards Caledonia and Clarendon. Been talking for a while, guys. I've been on here for about 2 hours. I'm a little thirsty. So, all right, now let's dive back here. I do want to look at our tornado warning storm out here, and boy, oh boy, it's getting real hard to look at anything here. We have a damage report out of the Chickasha area. Chickasha. Poles down on 274, so there's some wind damage at a minimum. That's over New Bremen and Minster, north of Fort Laramie right now. This particular tornado warning expires in 15 minutes. It's going to be out of the polygon before then. It's headed towards the Sydney area. And I'm going to be honest with you, this is awful. We don't have coverage for you guys here. There is no radar, and this is the best we can do. It's going to be really, really, really tough to start talking about these storms. We still do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Darke County and northern Preble County until 9 o'clock. That's for the cell moving out of Winchester. That's going to affect in the Greenville area and New Madison, Arcanum. Looks like we also have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Shelby County, southwestern Logan County, northeastern Darke County, southwestern Auglaize County, and southeastern Mercer County until 9:15. They did tag it tornado possible. Otherwise, we're looking at some large hail, golf ball size, and 60-mile-an-hour winds. Okay, so looks like we got an update here on our tornado warning around the Marion and Bucyrus area, headed towards Mount Gilead. Again, that expires in about 14 minutes. Still radar indicated rotation for that one. It is moving east at 65 miles an hour. Clarendon, Caledonia, it's over you right now. The Marion Airport, it's the hail core portions over Kirkpatrick. It's heading towards Denmark, Iberia, and Edison. Cardington and Mount Gilead, you guys are right on the edge of it there. Right on the edge of that tornado warning. So if you prefer, I would take shelter. Let's go back to the Cleveland radar. We'll get a little bit better view on it than that. There we go. Yeah, that's definitely starting to wrap in a little bit now. Yep, there it is. It did it right here. So here's our area of rotation. It's just east of the Marion Airport along 309 and 98. Stay out 309 and 98. That's where it's at. Marion Airport's right here. Stay out 309 and 98. That's where our rotation is at. It's headed towards Caledonia. So if you're in Caledonia, I'd be taking shelter right now if you haven't already. Again, lowest level of your home. If you have a basement, that's preferred. Otherwise, the most interior room in the lowest level of your home. If you're in an apartment building, the most interior room you can get to if you can't be on the lowest level. If you are in a mobile home, you really need to get out, but it's a little late for that at this point if you're real close to this. But that's our area of rotation right in here. As this continues to move east at about 60 to 65 miles an hour, it's going to get into, well, oh man, it's right over Caledonia right now. It's going to head towards Denmark in this little town of Climax in literally about the next 5 minutes. So if you're in Caledonia, shelter now, otherwise it's going to be too late. Don't know if anything's on the ground here just yet, but assume it is. And then Denmark, in about the next 5 minutes, you need to take shelter. Here's State Route 746 coming out of the south side of Caledonia there. And again, this is headed towards mainly rural area. So, you know, it eventually could head towards the north side of Mount Gilead there. We'll have to kind of keep an eye on that. But if this continues to maintain itself, I do anticipate another tornado warning being issued further east. But it's got to continue to maintain itself first. Still some nice hail up near New Winchester, Bucyrus. Bucyrus, you guys are pretty much clear from any tornado threat. We are getting a good storm here right now too, so hopefully we don't like lose power or anything like that. It's going to get awfully dark in here if we do. So that is, yeah, Bucyrus, you guys are okay out of that tornado threat. Galleon, you're about to get the hail. Iberia is about to get the hail as well. New Winchester getting the hail. Anything along State Route 61. From pretty much St. James up towards Galleon, going to get that hail as well. All right, our tornado warning for Holmes County is gone. It's over, and it does not appear that Weather Service in Pittsburgh is going to issue anything on that. Oh boy, I hope they're looking at the Cleveland radar now and again too, because still got some signs of rotation. Let's see, does the terminal Doppler get out here? Ooh, it's tough. Nope, it's too high for that. Let's look at the Weather Service radar instead. Yeah, so, okay. I see why they're seeing that. Okay. So for Dover, New Philadelphia, you're getting a storm right now. Paral, it's coming out of Strasburg. They're right along, what road is that? It's Worcester Avenue and 77, all the way down towards the 250 split near New Philadelphia. You guys are getting some heavy rain, perhaps some small hail, and some pretty gusty winds right now. But just east of 77 along 516, north of 39. I mean, there's still kind of this area where there could be the potential for something to rotate. But right now, I'm not seeing a lot of strong rotation like we were earlier. So there may be some weak rotation there. We'll keep an eye on it for you guys. But if it's going to do anything, it's probably, by the time it does, it will probably be through the Dover, New Philly area, to be honest with you. So more towards like Barnhill, Roswell, Rockford, and those areas along 39, I believe. But we'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep an eye on that one because still kind of questionable. Up here in Lorain County, parts of Erie and Huron County. Again, nice thunderstorm there. Good news is we don't have to worry about any tornadic activity, but some strong winds. Definitely some strong winds with that. It's 48 degrees and a thunderstorm. Only in Ohio, folks. All right, what else are we missing here? Our tornado warning out here. We did a damage report out of we read that one already. Another damage report out of the New Knoxville area had 49 mile an hour winds. That was probably there at the airport. I think the tornado warning on this storm here near Sydney is going to be allowed to expire. I do not see them issuing another one out ahead of it right now. 56-mile-an-hour winds reported out of the airport in Ottawa, Ohio. And we have some damage reports out of Hardin County. Roof of a prefabricated shed blew off near McGuffey in Kenton. We had a metal roof blow off on the US 68 just south of town. And we had a 52-mile-an-hour wind gust there at the airport in Hardin County. Okay, so some quite strong winds as it went through. Findlay had just north of Findlay, 1.75 hail. Yeah, we kind of covered that earlier. Inch hail out near the Fostoria area earlier. And those are all the reports I have right now. Okay, so right now we're tracking a severe thunderstorm warning that goes until 9:15 for southern Carroll, northern Harrison, western Jefferson, and Tuscarawas County. We have this tornado warning that goes for just a few more minutes for northeastern Marion, northwestern Morrow, and southern Crawford County. And we got a new tornado warning coming in. Okay, it's not a new one. It's a tornado warning out in Shelby County, northeastern Dark, southern Auglaize. It's going to expire at 8:45. So basically that was just a message updating that saying it's going to expire. So that is not in. Here we go. Here's our big one. All right, so we are going to warn it. Okay, new tornado warning, folks. It's going to be for southern Richland, Morrow, and Knox County until 9:30 p.m. Radar indicated tornado, could see golf ball size hail as well still. And this is the one we were just looking at here. Mount Gilead, time to take shelter, folks. Cardington, same for you. Time to take shelter if you have not already. The storm's almost over you. West Point, same as well. Take shelter. Johnsville, North Woodbury, Pulaskiville, Chesterville, Sparta, Fulton, Marengo, Bloomfield. I would be taking shelter right now. This is also headed towards Waterford, Batemantown, Palmyra, Fredericktown, Knox. The Mount Vernon area also included on this. Almost all of Knox County has been warned. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to affect all of Knox County just yet. It'll definitely affect a decent part of it, though. It's going to move from northwest to southeast across the county. So it will affect a decent part. Let's pull up some of the velocity rather here. And yeah, see, this is still wrapping in pretty good. It's a pretty healthy supercell here. And we kind of just east of Caledonia here, and actually really just east of Climax now. Headed towards Mount Gilead, here's our area where things are trying to wrap in up here. And still a decent bit of wind kind of pushing this storm. So parts of Mount Gilead will likely get some decent winds, and the rotation maybe just north of town, coming up on State Route 61. Here is US 42, and that will eventually impact US 42 probably within the next 5 to 8 minutes or so. And yeah, it's not anything crazy rotation-wise, but it's definitely present. I definitely agree with that tornado warning. Marion, I know you're still in the polygon. Clarendon, you're in the polygon for a tornado warning. Same with Bucyrus, New Winchester, Olentangy, and Galleon. You guys are pretty much all in the clear from that tornadic warning storm, but you are still seeing some impacts from the particular storm in the form of rain and maybe even a little bit of hail as well. This is starting to fill in a little bit on velocity, or excuse me, on the reflectivity. We're going to be too high for some of this stuff. Okay. Okay. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for 20 minutes for Shelby, portions of Shelby, Logan, Union, Hardin, and Auglaize County, although a lot of those areas are really not getting impacted by much anymore. And that's going to be the same one, right? Yes, okay. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for Shelby. I might have read this one, but Shelby, southwestern Logan, northeastern Dark, southwestern Auglaize, and southeastern Mercer County until 9:15 for golf ball size hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds. That's out ahead of that tornado warning that's going to expire. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for till 9 p.m. here for northern Preble and Darke County. 60-mile-an-hour winds and quarter-size hail. I know we can't see it on this radar. Let's see if I can pick it up on Indy. Here we go. That's a little bit better view out here. Those are some pretty nice storms with some hail, heavy rain, and probably some gusty winds. We read that one earlier. Okay. Still across Indiana, we still got showers and storms, but a lot of it, however, is, ooh, that was a close lightning strike. Okay, is not fully severe, but some of it. A couple severe thunderstorm warnings out there. So those are things we're going to keep an eye on. We'll check out northern Indiana. Yep, it's painting some of that too. Again, hopefully we don't lose power here, folks. I really hope so. Hope we don't. Usually we're good. And then let's get back into the Cleveland radar here. That's pretty much where some action is right now too. We'll kind of keep focused on this tornado warning storm right now. That's definitely the strongest storm we have at the moment. That's probably the most concerning. So I haven't been able to look at the chat for a while. I've been looking at the radar and talking. Every time I go to get a look at the chat, something else happens. So it's been a while since I looked at the chat. Again, if you're asking about particular cities, I really can't get to you on that, and that's why. So you can type them all you want, but I just can't. I just cannot get to it. Yes, there's sirens going off in the Ontario area. I don't know why, but they love their sirens in Richland County. They'll set them off for anything that gets them excited. The tornado warning is for basically Kings Corners to Belleville and then down towards Butler. That's the tornado warning in Richland County. It does not include Ontario. It does not include Mansfield. It doesn't include Lexington. Sirens should not be going off. If you're anywhere in the northern portion of Richland County and sirens are going off, y'all got a very dated system. And this is why we tell you not to trust the sirens. Because why? Because that's why. It's giving you false warning now. So now you're thinking something's happening, nothing's happening, and it's creating, these false alerts, and then, it's the cry wolf syndrome, right? So that's why we tell you not to trust the sirens. Besides the fact that you may not hear them. They're meant for outdoors. They're not meant for inside. Yeah, you might be able to hear them inside, but not what they were meant for. All right, Mount Gilead right now, you got that wind moving through for sure. Good news here is area of rotation is not very present, actually. It transitioned quickly to more of a wind threat, but little inflow notch here just east of Mount Gilead along State Route 95. I don't particularly think that's going to be much, but it's kind of there. It's probably just inflow. I don't see that as rotation. That looks more like a little bit of inflow into the storm. A lot of this is straight. Let me get in front here and point at this a little bit. So what I'm looking at is right where this arrow is, actually, right here. This looks more like just some inflow into the storm. I don't see any area rotation. However, if you were going to see a little spin up along the edge of the line, it'd be right in there as well. So that it doesn't look too concerning. But again, the radar beam shooting through the storm now, it's not going to get a great look at the front edge of the storm, unfortunately. So I would still treat it as if there is certainly a tornado possible in this particular case. A lot of this, though, is just wind. But I would certainly, if you were going to see a brief spin up, it would be something similar to that, perhaps. Along State Route 95. It's going to kind of follow 95 all the way down to Chesterville as well in the I-71 area. And then here's County Route 20 out of Williamsport. So if you're in the path of that, I know there's not a lot over here. It's pretty rural, but if you are in the path of that and you're watching, you'd want to take shelter for sure with that, just to be on the safe side. I don't see too much going on down here at the moment. We'll keep an eye on that, but that particular area doesn't interest me in the form in terms of any sort of potential tornadic activity. It's more, again, it looks more like wind at the moment, and it's more just the radar really not getting a great read on it either. The beam's having to go through so much that it doesn't always get everything. That is all headed towards Knox County, Fredericktown, and the Mount Vernon area as well. We'll see what happens when we get there. There's a nice little inflow notch here, and it's really up towards Williamsport and Pulaskiville. Pretty much right along Route 42. US Route 42 is right here. Here's Williamsport, and there's this nice inflow here. So we'll kind of see how all this does. We could be even seeing some rear flank downdraft out of that a little bit too, which would kind of wrap all this up, and then perhaps this storm cycles back around a little bit. But we'll kind of have to watch it here shortly. Really nice hail core over West Point, heading towards Johnsville, North Woodbury, and well towards the Williamsport area as well. So that could produce easily inch hail out of that one as well. Again, not sure why that there it goes. I'm not sure why that ticker wants to show that black text to get that worked on. Okay, if you're asking about if you're going to get warnings and stuff, we don't answer those questions. Can't tell you. Can't tell you right now. Don't know. Someone asked if anyone's from Lorain County. That's me. It's a good thunderstorm right here in North Ridgeville. But I actually don't have a view outside right now. So I cannot tell you if there is really anything big going on. Hang on just a moment here. I apologize if you're hearing some odd like mic distortions or something here. Let me reset this. Okay, well, I reset it. I don't know if it'll work. It could be from the storm moving through. I'm not real sure. So just bear with me on that. Someone asked how Dover was looking. We can look at that real quick. Dover, that storm's east of you. We're still gonna see showers and some storms move through. But let's go ahead. We'll take a look at this storm here. They did update the severe thunderstorm when it goes for about another 25 minutes for southern Carroll, northern Harrison, western Jefferson, and east central Tuscarawas County. 60-mile-an-hour winds, quarter-size hail. Here's the good news here. This is moving, it's pretty much, hail core is right over Sherrodsville right now in Sunset Valley. And the good news here is, I mean, there's inflow for sure, but I don't see much rotation. If I go over to Pittsburgh, I'll probably see less. Wow, that's a nice looking structure. Well, that sent me wrong. I don't see much rotation though with that. That's interesting. Oh, there we go. There's the update. Still don't see a whole lot. Okay. Interesting. So we do have the little notch, right? It's supercellular in the kind of how it looks. We have our hail core here over Sherrodsville, and we have our inflow notch right here, and we have our little hook echo right there. But we don't see much on the velocity product. So again, we kind of already dealt with this a couple times tonight, where it was kind of 50-50. Did it not? Start rotating. So treat this with just with some caution. If you're out near Leesville Lake, Bowerston, Scio, anything along 39 just about, coming out of the, 39's up here, my bad. Anything along US 250, north of 250, 164, there's a couple other little state routes kind of floating around down there too. I don't know all of them. But if you're anywhere down here, getting into northern Harrison County, I would keep an eye on this storm. I would think about whether or not I might take shelter. It's not showing many signs of rotation, but again, if it happens, it's going to happen pretty quick. Sirens went off in Mansfield. I tell you what, if you're in Mansfield and the sirens went off, y'all need to write your councilman and tell them not to do that, or write the county EMA or something. They shouldn't be setting sirens off outside of that. Not all of Richland County is under a tornado warning. Not all of Richland County is under a tornado warning. Look at here. This makes me mad, guys. This is why I don't like tornado sirens. I know some of you are infatuated with them. You don't trust anything but a siren. Quit trusting sirens. Your tornado warning is down here, right? Here's the portion of the tornado warning right there. It's barely going to touch Richland County. That's the area that is really impacted by it. Look at all of Richland County that's not under a tornado warning. Imagine that. So if you're here or here or here or anywhere up here, even here, and you have sirens going off, y'all need to write your elected officials. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. It's not a great way to warn people. That's why we preach don't trust the siren. When we say have multiple ways to receive warning, we never tell you listen for the tornado siren. Nope. Ain't happening. Ain't happening. Ancient technology, folks. It is not that reliable. It's there to warn people outside. Unfortunately, they're costly and they're pricey, and people demand them after things happen. So they buy them. They have to use them. Well, they use them for everything. What does it cause? Confusion. This is why you need to know and understand how these warnings work and what we're looking for, because that is the only way you are really, really going to educate yourself. I do want to look at this storm, though. We haven't looked at it in a few minutes. It's moving into northwestern Knox County right now. Waterford, Bateman Town. It's over, I'm going to zoom in real quick, Waterford Road and Yankee Street. There's a nice inflow notch right there. And yeah, that's that could wrap in. Again, it's kind of what we've been watching. So right here is our inflow, right in here, and then here's everything kind of coming around. So it's a bit broad. It's not as tight as I want to see it and go, yes, that's definitely doing something. It's trying to do something here. It definitely is. Again, if I sound kind of odd, it might be from the thunderstorm overhead. We had a lot of lightning. And this is a wireless system, by the way, so it is impacted by some of those things, I'm sure. But I don't do too much live streaming while it's storming, which is kind of ironic. But yeah, so we're going to kind of watch that. There's the latest update. Doesn't look quite as discrete as it did earlier. Actually, it looks a little more on the linear side of things. But again, not going to take much for stuff to come together and something to happen, especially with that area of inflow right there. See if we get an update on the reflectivity here in a moment. If you're in Mount Gilead, I know they haven't updated the tornado warning, but if you're in Mount Gilead, Cardington, Iberia, pretty much anything west of I-71 right now, that tornado, that portion of the storm that has the tornado possible portion of it, it's east of you. So if you're west of 71 basically right now, you're pretty good from that. However, if you are along State Route 314 and east, so that's Johnsville, North Woodbury, east, you are still seeing some hail. And that I would still take. So that's southern Richland County there. I would definitely continue to heed that warning. Even though the tornado threat is south of you for the most part, you still got the large hail portion of it. Our tornado warning here expires in about a half an hour. They have not updated it yet. We have some bigger severe thunderstorm warnings across southern Ohio. This just came in. Shelby County, Champaign County, northeastern Preble County, Logan County, southern Clark County, northern Montgomery County, and Miami County. That's a severe thunderstorm warning that goes until 9:45 p.m. It's for inch-size hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds, and they did mark it tornado possible. I'm not sure what they're looking at, unfortunately, to get some of this data. It's definitely not the Cleveland radar, because that's what we're on right now. It could be a bit of Indianapolis. I would say that, yeah, if this is accurate enough, we kind of got some discrete cells out there. It's hard to see if they're rotating. It's just shooting so high, unfortunately. And then maybe a little bit out of northern Indiana. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. not great. Again, we're shooting the tops of the storms here pretty much. And then that'd be about it. I mean, the next radar is Lexington. And it's, yeah, here's Lexington. You can't see squat. Charleston's too far away as well. You can't see squat. So it's probably basically a combination of Indy and Northern Indiana. Okay. Sorry for jumping around on you guys, but we'll kind of keep an eye on that. Again, we are going to have a very hard time as we get towards Dayton, Springfield, and pretty much anything southwest of Columbus looking at much. We're going to get into a big old radar hole in a hurry because nothing has a good view there. Literally nothing has a good view there. Going back to our storm here, moving across portions of Carroll and Harrison counties, it's definitely more of a hail core. Definitely more hail-like, but nice inflow here around Bowerston and New Hagerstown. That's kind of along like 212 and State Route 43. Yeah, that's quite interesting there. It's gone now. Okay, well, so much for interesting. But we'll kind of keep on it. It looks like it's trying to cycle a little bit. Still got some nice inflow. Big hail core there. Just east of Rock Canyon Park along State Route 164, headed towards Perrysville. That is a nice hail core. Definitely probably seeing some inch hail with that one. That's all headed off towards Kilgore and Amsterdam eventually. A lot of rural area out here. 1.5 inch hail reported in New Philadelphia not too long ago. Wow, okay, so he had some pretty good hail there. No update on our tornado warning here for Richland, Morrow, or Knox, portions of Richland, southern Richland, Morrow, or Knox County on 9:30. They have, I think, forgotten about it. Usually they've updated it by now. But again, anything west of I-71 right now, you guys are in the clear from any of that. You're getting rain, maybe some thunder, but you're in the clear from any of the severe portions of the storm. Yeah, see, we're getting... Now we're getting some shear out ahead of this, and this is what we'll have to keep an eye on here. Just to the northeast of Fredericktown. A lot of this, again, rural up here. But this is kind of the stuff we need to keep an eye on. This is where we could get those quick spin-ups along the edge of the line. So the tornado warning is still pretty valid for Knox County, especially the northern portion. Mount Vernon, I think that's not going to impact you, that portion. You'll still get impacts from the storm. Strong winds, perhaps some hail. Much of the hail will be north, though. But this could come together really quick and create a quick spin up there. I don't think we have any towns there. And look, they just finally updated that tornado warning. Just finally. All right. Let's take a read real quick. Still radar indicated, so no confirmed tornado or anything like that. Near Fredericktown, moving east at 60 miles an hour. Be near Danville about 9:05 in about 5 minutes. Not too many towns up here. We got some small ones. North Liberty, Four Corners, Berger, Nunda. It's over Knox Lake right now. And Kennytown, South Bay, Amity. Not too many towns out here. Jellaway, kind of headed towards your way as well. The Apple Valley Lake area, which I know is a pretty nice area actually. That's a private lake. And we can kind of see, let's see if this updates here. There we go. We can kind of see it kind of fell apart a touch. Yep, definitely fell apart a little bit there, but we're still getting that hail. This is becoming more linear, it looks like, so we'll keep an eye on that, but looks like that's actually becoming a little bit more linear now. That's good news. That means lower tornado threat, but higher wind threat from that. North, we've got a lot of a mess here of showers, some thunderstorms, heavy rain, and cooler temperatures arriving across northern Ohio. Still warm downstate, mid to upper 70s. 77 Ironton, 78 in the Marietta area, 78, 79 across Cincinnati Metro. Same about Dayton too. Temperatures will come down though, unfortunately, quite a bit. We'll be in the 30s across much of the state by tomorrow morning. I know that's depressing. I'm going to stay with you for as long as I need to here. It's going to be real interesting with these storms across southwestern Ohio. Just not great views, unfortunately. Someone asked if Lime was good to go to bed. Yeah, you guys are good. You got a shower or thunderstorm too here floating around, but non-severe. I know why we keep talking about Mansfield. Guys in Mansfield are strange, I guess, but it's rain, guys. We've talked about that. No power in Morrow County. I can see that. Is the weather going to get less dangerous as the night goes on? I can answer that question. Yes, it will. Okay, time frame for Muskingum. I don't, but storms are headed your way. Will they be severe by the time they get there? We were actually having this discussion in our team earlier this afternoon, and we were trying to decide whether or not the storms would do much south of Interstate 70. We were trying to decide, you know, because a lot of the modeling had stuff starting to die off as it basically got to Interstate 70. And I'm still seeing those trends. I think, you know, if you're south of I-70, for the most part, the severe threat is not very high. I know there's a tornado watch for areas south of I-70. They did locally extend it. Just a few counties, nothing big. That tornado watch expires in under 2 hours. But as you continue south, I do not think you're going to get it on a severe threat at this point. I'm not particularly seeing that right now. Even though it's warm down there, the problem is that we're leaving the rest of the environment that we need that supports stuff like shear and stuff like that would really support a lot of this. It's also getting later, so the atmosphere is stabilizing. Even though it's warm, it's getting later, and we got all this rain, all this noise, basically, and that is, you know, kind of impacting, you know, how these storms are more or less working. A report of a flood here from Spotter Network around Lexington. Not sure what that's about. That's a new one to me. Maybe some flooded roadways or something like that. That's certainly possible. A lot of rain coming down. Actually, let's take a look at that, because we did talk about that briefly. Storm total precip here is not going to be super great, but we're generally looking at anywhere from about 3/4 inch to an inch across the area. That's going to be the lighter blues. As you get into the darker blues, it's above an inch, up to 1.5 inches. And as you get up here, you're looking at 1.5 inches to about 2 inches. So most of the heavy rain here, this could be hail kind of obscuring some of that. Sometimes that happens, but that certainly is possible. Okay, so now as we get into Coshocton County here, this is Weather Service Pittsburgh. They have a severe thunderstorm warning for Coshocton County, northwestern Guernsey County, northeastern Muskingum County, and southwestern Tuscarawas County. That's basically going to be like the New Cumberstown area. That goes until 9:45 p.m. It is for $half size hail. It's 1.25 inches, 60 mile-an-hour winds. They did tag it tornado possible. So for Tuscarawas County, no, we got a few. New Cumberstown, Port Washington area. So that's basically 77 south of Stone Creek all the way down towards the county line. But basically Newport to Port Washington along US 36. and then 77 from, again, just south of Stone Creek towards Post Boy Road. All of Coshocton County, pretty much, except for the far northeastern corner up towards New Bedford, is included in the severe thunderstorm warning. And then parts of northern Muskingum County, primarily Dresden, Adamsville, Otsego, Adams Mills, and then far northwestern Guernsey County. Ain't much there either. We're going to be northwest of Kimballton still. Guernsey, Birds Run, Flat Ridge, Bowdoin, Manaway or Mantua, however they want to pronounce it there. I'm not real sure. Didn't know that was there. But there is not much out that way. Check over a couple things here. The lightning, yeah, a lot of lightning. We got a lot of cold air aloft, so lightning will be quite vivid. When you say the southern portion shouldn't be too worried, does that include Lancaster, Fairfield County? I think so. I think as we get there, the chances for severe weather are reduced. Doesn't mean it won't happen. Just means, I think, the chances of severe weather definitely drop. New Philadelphia looks like rain. That's it. You're looking at it right now on your screen. Just rain, some thunder. See all that stuff to the north and west there up towards Worcester and, Ashland? That's all headed your way. It's rain and thunder. It's a little heavy. If you're worried about a tornado in Medina County, don't. We did not end up with a tornado threat up here, actually. Thought we were going to, but when those supercells never fired that were modeled, we didn't get that at all. Guernsey County, the storms have not got to you yet. Far northwestern Guernsey County is under a severe thunderstorm warning. That's for that storm near Mount Vernon and Loudonville. It will probably make it towards the Cambridge area. I do see that making it there. Not pushing the tornado warning into Coshocton. They are not. They tagged it tornado possible, but they're not pushing the tornado warning right now. Let's take a look at that here. I don't see, just looking at this does not look like a storm that is screaming tornadic potential. Looking at velocity, it definitely doesn't. It's very linear, straight line winds. Let's go to the Pittsburgh radar. They're going to look at theirs and go, okay, what are we looking at here? Now, granted, they can see Cleveland. They can pull it up. Not seeing, this is even worse, actually. And this actually is old. Let's light this update here. That's actually a little, nope, no, I take that back. That is current. Nope, nothing. Nothing screams tornadic there. So the good news is if you're in Mount Vernon, first off, the tornado threat for you is over. Same for Fredericktown and pretty much anything west of State Route 3 and 13. Anything west of those two state routes, you are pretty good on that. As far as Danville, Howard, Gambier, Millwood, Bladensburg, anything in this southeastern portion of Knox County, this cell here is definitely not showing too many signs of tornadic activity at all. Great news. So yeah, I mean, it's just not. It looks very linear. I don't see too much else. Not to say that couldn't change as it gets into Coshocton County. I don't see that as very likely. Couple new thunderstorm warnings here. I do want to touch on severe thunderstorm warning for southeastern Carroll, northeastern Harrison, Jefferson County until 10 o'clock. And that's for the storm from earlier out of the Dover-New Philly area, and even back into Holmes County earlier. It is moving east at 55 miles an hour. And it's pretty much over Jewett right now in Germano. We did get a tornado warning from somewhere. Where did we get one? Oh, gosh, never mind. We did not get a tornado warning. It's an update. Cleveland updated the tornado warning in Knox County. They're going to hang on to it all the way until 9:30, I guess. But I didn't see too much there that was screaming tornadic. All right, so here's our storm here. It's generally hail for the most part. Hopedale, Bloomingdale, Wintersville, and then off into the Steubenville area, down towards Brilliant, Mingo Junction, all kind of in the path of that. That gets all the way down towards Rayland as well. That's the south side of that. I don't think they're going to get impacted by it too much, but you know, definitely Wintersville, New Alexandria, Steubenville going to see this particular storm, and that is some hail in there. And let's go over. Let's pull up the. Let's pull this up here. This is the terminal Doppler out of Pittsburgh. Yeah, I don't really care for that. Let's go to here. Pittsburgh Weather Service radar, not really showing much in the way of rotation. Okay. It's trying to kind of do something there, but not much. I'll let that one pass. Just going through some stuff here. Lots of damage apparently in Mercer County. So yeah, that was here. That was interesting. Okay. Just trying to catch up on some stuff here real fast, guys. Real fast. Okay. All right, let's go back to here and sirens in Shelby. I don't know why. Write your elected officials. Tell them unacceptable. Unless they sound sirens for all clear in Richland County, that's why they're going off. You're in Mount Vernon and it's getting rough. I don't know how it's getting rough because in Mount Vernon, that storm is east of you. If you're on the southeast side of Mount Vernon, Gambier, Hunt, down here, yeah, it's rough. You're right. But Mount Vernon proper, it's kind of ending. You're gonna get some wind. You're gonna get the rain. But other than that, it's not too bad. They really get an inch hail report out of Butler there in Knox County. So it did produce some hail. That confirms that. Bunch of wind reports across western Ohio. Don't want to forget about you guys out here. Still have a severe thunderstorm warning for Champaign, southern Logan, Clark, northeastern Montgomery, and Miami counties until 9:45 p.m., about a half hour from now. Inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds possible. I know we can't really see much. This looks unimpressive. Unimpressive. Let's see if this looks any better. Not really. This is a composite view, but because we're missing the Wilmington radar, it's not a great look. Really isn't. Looking further west, this line of storms here across Indiana is all heading our way. It is non-severe right now. I do not see any severe thunderstorm warnings, but some strong winds near 50 miles an hour, heavy rain, a lot of lightning, certainly possible as that continues off to the east overnight. So those are certainly possible. I want to turn that off. There we go. And of course, we still got our severe thunderstorm warning in the Coshocton County for the storm over Danville and coming out of Howard. It's a tornado warning there, but again, I don't see any real signs of tornadic activity with this right now. Nope. A lot of straight line wind. Usually when we see this on our rotation product, that's wind. So that's good. Not to say it couldn't decide to change its mind later. So we're going to keep an eye on it. Out near Hopedale, this particular cell is looking interesting, but we're getting pretty far away from Cleveland here. So let's go to Pittsburgh. Yeah, it's got a nice inflow notch actually right over Swanson. North of Hopedale, north of US 22, near Annapolis. Let's take a look at our velocity product. I don't see much there. I don't see anything there. This might be an anomaly here on our rotation product here. That's looking... That doesn't quite look right. And that's why that product is not, to be relied. It's in the wrong spot anyways. Let's take a look at this here. I think this is just more inflow right now, but we have this inflow notch basically right here, and you know, some weak echoes here, and all around it we have that higher reflectivity with some heavy rain and hail in there perhaps too. Still, we'll kind of keep an eye and see if this decides to wrap it in at all. But right now I don't particularly see anything that suggests anything imminent with that happening, which is great news. But hopefully it stays that way. Regardless, it's still a severe storm. That severe thunderstorm warning goes until 10 o'clock. They did not tag it tornado possible, by the way. So keep an eye on it. Weather Service doesn't seem to think so. Out here coming into Coshocton County, this particular cell to them looks more linear and wind damage like. But the radar there is shooting kind of high, about 6,000 to 7,000 feet, I believe. So not the best view there, but as you look at Cleveland, not much better, but it is looking more linear here too. So that's great news for the tornado threat. Right now, I'm not anticipating a tornado warning for Coshocton County. I know they tagged this severe thunderstorm warning tornado possible, but I think at this point, this looks more like a wind damage threat. That will affect kind of the far southwestern portions of Holmes County near like Stillwell, even maybe up to Glenmont, and kind of right along US 62 over there towards Brinkhaven, which it's over right now. You may get a kind of a strong storm there, even though you're not under any sort of severe thunderstorm warning. It's just kind of barely grazing the county. Take a look at some comments. Appreciate you guys hanging out tonight and watching the coverage. We kind of just talked about Coshocton here. Richland County still setting off county-based sirens. Cool, excellent. Someone asked about radar on YouTube. They have access to both 5 centimeter and 10 centimeter radar. It sounds like you're in Canada. So if you're not in Canada, you're an amateur radio operator. Radar in the United States here is generally S-band. I believe that's a UHF band. It may actually even be C-band. I'm not real sure. I believe it's S-band. But they also asked if we have access to the terminal radars. Yes, we do. Except in southwestern Ohio tonight, they're all out. So I've been looking at a couple of them here and there, but that's been about it. All right. If tornadoes sirens went off in Richland County, it's because they cleared you from the tornado warning, and they're sounding in all clear. But that's it. When is it going to hit Cambridge? I don't know. Short answer is I don't know. Cambridge is way down here. Here's your storm. What's hitting Cambridge? Could be this cell. That's probably a half hour away. It's moving east at 65. They're really kind of moving southeast in a sense. Let me put this up here. Let's see, where is that at? Oh, it's in this menu. Still learning this one, guys. Storm tracks. There's your storm tracks. See the storm tracks? They're moving kind of the southeast. So Cambridge on this cell, you're probably looking at about 45 minutes. Probably closer to 10 o'clock on that one. Yeah, probably closer to 10 for Cambridge. We're going to turn these off. They clutter a lot. All right, so lots of questions because I answer a couple. Everybody throws in their town names because they apparently can't trust what's going on outside their own window. Guys, if you don't see anything going on, it's probably going to be okay. But let's do a little recap. If you're north of US Route 30, you have no severe weather threat. So that's Canton, Akron, Cleveland, any point east of Cleveland, Mansfield, Bucyrus, Lima, anything north of there, Toledo, Findlay, Norwalk, Sandusky, Port Clinton. No severe weather threat at all right now. Zero. Temperatures are in the mid to upper 40s to low to right around 50 or so. and it's rain with some thunder. We're going to see that over the next couple hours. We're going to turn on our composite radar here because that's going to make a little bit more sense. We'll take that off. So that's what we're looking at. Out towards Western Ohio, Van Wert and all that, these are non-severe. This little line out here in Fort Wayne is non-severe. But that could still produce some winds, 40, even 50 miles an hour, possible. But I've been talking for a while, guys. But I think the best threat of that is really right across far Western Ohio. As that continues south and east, it's working into an air mass that is already worked over from storms earlier. It's more stable, it's colder, it's going to weaken. As they weaken, they could still produce some wind gusts, 40 to even 50 miles an hour. It's possible. Right now, our only severe weather is over here in the Steubenville area. We'll look at that cell again in a minute. Coming into Coshocton County. And then we still have the severe thunderstorm warning out here going for Champaign, Southern Logan, Clark, and northeastern Montgomery and Miami counties until 9:45. Again, terrible view because we don't have the radar. Does not look like much. Nice little cell over Tip City north of Dayton. Coming out of Troy over Urbana. It's going to affect Springfield, that area right now. Bell Fountain, I think you guys are going to be okay, but again, I don't know 100%. But otherwise, that particular area, not looking terrible, but it's generally damaging winds in hail. 60-mile-an-hour winds do cause damage, and 1-inch hail can cause damage as well. That's the biggest threat there. And right now, that's about it. As you get further south in Ohio, you can see there's nothing going on really south of 70, pretty much south of Interstate 70. There's nothing going on. You're gonna see some flashing for the tornado warning there in Knox County, and that's probably going to be the message that's expiring the warning. Yep, they're going to expire. Yeah, storm's already moved out of the county. So south of Interstate 70 right now, not much going on. Maybe some rain in spots. Hard to tell. Some of that rain there along I-71 southwest of Columbus is actually reaching the ground. With the composite radar, it's not always the best. It will paint things sometimes that aren't necessarily happening because of other atmospheric things and how it puts this all together. The severe threat really south of 70 is pretty low. I'm not saying that there will be zero severe storms south of Interstate 70. It's just the chance of it is not very high. I know it's nice and warm. It's mid-upper 70s across that area. Mild. But unfortunately, we're just not working into an area where there's a lot of support for severe weather. We're moving out of that shear and some of the other factors we need to keep these things going. That's not to say a storm or two couldn't keep going, such as our storm moving into Coshocton County right now. I do feel that will probably continue towards the I-70 corridor before it weakens. So that could get to Cambridge, perhaps, and Port Washington, well, maybe Port Washington a little bit further south. I'm sorry, Byesville. I was thinking Port Washington's further north, my bad. Port Washington's up here. Cambridge, Byesville, could get to that area. Does it get further south? It's hard to say right now. Really, really hard to say if it can or not. Not really sure. Our storm here in the Steubenville area, getting ready to move into West Virginia Panhandle and Pennsylvania. That one will be out of our area probably in about the next 20 minutes. Still trying to kind of sort of decide whether or not it wants to rotate. Not really showing it. So I'm going to say that unless it can do something here, by the time it does, it may actually be into the West Virginia Panhandle. So we'll kind of keep an eye on it. I'll kind of keep an eye until it gets into Pennsylvania, because by the time it gets into here, there's really not a whole lot there, but we don't really cover Pennsylvania. Otherwise, here's what we got. Northern Ohio, rain, occasional thunder, some lightning. These little white dots are recent lightning strikes, so it is out there. West of Cleveland, rain mostly. Might hear a rumble of thunder here or there, but not a whole lot. That goes all the way out to northwestern Ohio, where it's mainly light to moderate rain at times. And then I wish I could tell you more for southwestern Ohio, but I can't see anything. Let's take a look at the Indy radar here. There's our cells there. They don't look terrible, but again, it's kind of a high radar beam. Northern Indiana, not painting much. It's got to paint through all of this other rain. Now, as you get towards Van Wert and Salina along US 127 here, again, these are non-severe storms. They could be strong at times, so some gusty winds. So do keep that in mind. But they're not severe. No severe thunderstorm warnings issued on them at all right now. I'm pretty much going to stay with you until the severe thunderstorm warnings expire right now. That's pretty much my plan at the moment. So that's what we got going on right now across the state. Hopefully it answers a lot of questions. The storms will weaken through the night mostly because they're moving into an area of less favorable dynamics to make them strong or severe. Not so much because of the temp drop, because the temp drop is actually happening behind it with the cold front. The cold front is not going to overtake them. Should Stark County be worried about tornadoes? Well, I think I answered that question. No. Severe threat's over for Stark County. Fredericktown, quite scary. Yeah, it's pretty much out of Fredericktown now, so hopefully it's going on. Going to be quieter for you. On YouTube, if we already had severe thunderstorm, tornado warnings, and all that, are we safe to head to bed? I think you guys can head to bed for the most part, yes, in that case. I agree with that. The storm coming into Cambridge is not a tornadic storm. It had a tornado warning on it earlier. Does not now. Are any tornadoes on the ground in Ohio? No. I wish I could tell you how hard Cambridge will get hit, but it's hard. It's hard to say just how hard a storm's going to hit you. This is your storm that will eventually make it to Cambridge, but it's still got a ways. This storm's going to change before it gets there. It could weaken a lot. It could stay the same. It could even strengthen a little bit. To be honest, it's still plenty of warm air down there, mid-70s. It's 77 in Cambridge. It's just we're working out of that shear, and that is honestly just the biggest factor in all of that is, yeah, they just issued an update on that. That's all. That's honestly the biggest factor is just that it could easily go either way. It could weaken, it could strengthen, it could also stay the same. If you want my best guess, it will probably maintain itself just about like it is now as it approaches Cambridge. As it gets towards the eastern edge of that warning polygon there. But whether or not it's going to do much for it, I don't know. Right now, it would appear that the heaviest part of the storm would perhaps graze the northern side of town. But it's really hard to say. I mean, even this storm that's over here affecting the Steubenville area, New Alexandria, I'm actually surprised it maintained itself as much as it did. Environment's slightly different over here, but it maintained itself quite nice. That started, oh man, way up here in good old Millersburg, Holmes County. It was a tornado warning storm, and it kept tracking. Still trying to get some rotation, but I think honestly what we have here is really just inflow. I don't see much really happening with that one. So it's just about in the West Virginia there. It's coming up on, it's over New Alexandria now, coming up on Wellsburg, West Virginia. And, again, towards Mingo Junction. Steubenville is going to miss out on the heaviest part. But we'll just keep an eye on this storm. It's moving into the Shockton area right now. It's mainly wind. Mainly wind. I do not see anything rotating. Good news there. The structure itself looks very linear. That's what I expect to see. there's the update on that. They dropped the tornado possible tag, so that's great news. So this is pretty much just kind of a standard severe thunderstorm warning. 60-mile-an-hour winds, quarter-size hail. Tornado watch goes until 11 p.m. My guess is we'll just let that naturally expire. Look at here, they took out northern Ohio. Let me turn off the radar. If you're not in the red, you're not in the tornado watch. So that includes much of the Cleveland area, Akron-Canton, Youngstown, all the way up towards Toledo. So pretty much most of the northern portions of Ohio have been dropped. For whatever reason, we haven't dropped northwest Ohio. I don't know why. That's all up to the Weather Service office in northern Indiana, and they decided they want to hang on to it. Not sure why they didn't drop off like Mansfield and those areas. I think that could have dropped off, but I don't get to make that call. So, but honestly, the tornado threat there is over. The tornado watch will be there till 11. It's only an hour and a half, but nothing is magically going to pop up and go like, oh, here's a tornado. It's not going to happen. So we still have the severe thunderstorm warning for Champaign, Clark, northeastern Montgomery, and southeastern Miami County. That only goes for about another 10 minutes, 9:45 p.m. 60-mile-an-hour winds, quarter-size hail. Wish we could look at it better. I really do. This is not a good night for a radar outage, and it just seems like that Wilmington goes out right when you need her. So across western Ohio, here's these storms coming across the state line that are non-severe from pretty much Paulding south along US 127 to the Salina area for the most part, New Bremen. These are non-severe. They could still be a little strong, still pack a little punch with some wind. Not severe though. And then we could see, you got some lightning. You got the white dots there. Those are recent lightning strikes. Maybe even some small hail, but I think at this point the hail threat for those probably over. But it wouldn't surprise me if we saw some pea-sized hail. That wouldn't be too surprising, but not very likely at this point. So here's our storm over Mingo Junction right now. I'm going to go back over to the Pittsburgh radar. Headed towards Wellsburg, West Virginia, Rabbit Hill. This is going to cross over into the Panhandle real quick. Next scan will probably have it over the Ohio River. Again, wasn't really showing any rotation, which is great. Yeah, still not. Awesome. Excellent. I'll even pull up the terminal Doppler. Terminal Doppler doesn't look as impressive. So yeah, no rotation or anything like that. That's good. Definitely doesn't look as impressive. But that particular cell, there you go. It's updated there. It's pretty much crossed over the Ohio River just about. This is back on the NextRad radar from the Weather Service, so it's a little bit different. Doesn't update every minute. Again, looking at our cell here across the Stockton County, yeah, it is definitely, for the most part, wind and I guess hail now. Some hail with that as well. Looks like we got an 1.5-inch hail report there just a short time ago out of Nellie. Ping pong ball. Wow, that's some big hail. So hail and wind with that one. So that's what I'd be looking out for there. Summit County, go to bed. Norwalk, go to bed. Waynesburg, go to bed. Mount Vernon, go to bed. South of I-70 going to get anything. We kind of talked about that. Mansfield, go to bed, except for those sirens. Lewis Center, go to bed. Strasburg, Dover, no, you're not going to have a tornado at this point. Yes, the tornado watch goes until 11. No, it's not going to tornado anymore. A lot of lightning is going to be good lightning. Yes, yes, yes. Mount Vernon, go to bed. Is there a storm coming through around midnight in Fredericktown? I can't tell you, but I'm going to tell you this. Probably not. Again, model data had totally different, what do I want to say here? It had a totally different idea of what to expect than what we've been seeing. So I haven't even dived into the model stuff at this point. I did it earlier, but just to show that it was showing totally different things compared to what we were seeing. Should you be concerned in Newcomerstown? Not really. That storm's barely going to graze you. It will be heavy rain, some gusty winds, and then perhaps some hail, but I think that generally stays to your south. Delaware, Lewis County, or Lewis Center, excuse me, Delaware County, go to bed. Your northwestern Ohio, go to bed. I think I caught up on everybody there. Norwalk, go to bed. Summit County, go to bed. Mount Vernon, go to bed. Okay, no more towns, guys. No more towns. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to keep an eye on our cell around Coshocton. There's cell moving into out of Mingo Junction, really, and off into West Virginia. I don't think it's going to do anything else than what it's doing right now. Rain, some storms across Stark, Carroll, Tuscarawas, Columbiana, Jefferson counties, even on up into the rest of northern Ohio there. Some rain, occasional thunder. Again, rain, occasional thunder. This is going to be the case through the evening. There could be some flooding here or there, but right now I think the big flood threat is pretty much done. The rain across, the idea, the intent here was, I guess, let's do this. Look at there. Northern Indiana canceled that tornado watch for northwestern Ohio. About time. All right. So models were kind of showing an area here, generally across central Ohio, where they felt that we were going to get a ton of rain. Now, here's our cold front. You can see it's dive south. It's pretty much along US 30 according to this. And it could even be a little bit further south than that looking at some of the observations. But some of that is also rain-cooled air. The idea is that additional storms were going to basically, showers and storms, are going to move along this front as it crossed central Ohio. And that was going to create the potential for some flooding. I would say that the overall chances of it are lower, but not zero. So it could still see some spots where flooding is possible, but I don't think it's going to be quite as bad as what models indicated. All right, because I know we got someone from Cambridge. They did issue a severe thunderstorm warning for you. Here we go. Severe thunderstorm warning for western Belmont, southern Coshocton County, Guernsey County, southwestern Harrison County, northeastern Muskingum County, north central Noble County, south central Tuscarawas County. Yeah, forget that one, guys. That goes until 10:30. We're looking at 60-mile-an-hour winds and up to $half size hail. The storm's over Coshocton, moving southeast at 50 miles an hour. All right, here's this tiny little portion of, it's basically just an extension of the current warning. Okay, Newcomerstown, south, there's not much there. They did update the warning over here. It expires in just a few minutes at 9:45. This one will take over. That includes Cambridge, Byesville, Pleasant City, Senecaville, Senecaville Lake, Old Washington, Middleburn, Londonderry, Birmingham, Salt Fork, Kimballton, and anything else? North Salem. There's not too much else out here. It is pretty rural. But again, it's sort of the storm here. So we'll see kind of how things go here over about the next 10 to 15 minutes. I will keep an eye on this storm. It is pretty much the strongest storm in the state. I wish I could. I wish I could speak for Western Ohio. I really wish I could, guys. The storm over Springfield, Mad River. It's a decent storm. Yeah, that's a decent little storm there. And this severe thunderstorm warning, however, expires in 4 minutes. I don't see them issuing a new one at this point. So I think that's going to be more non-severe. And then, again, these are non-severe. Showers, moderate to heavy rain at times, some thunder, maybe some small hail. That's what we got going on with those there. And this could cause some localized flooding as well. So just bear that in mind, especially as you head out in the morning. Could cause some flooding. And yeah, looking at the storm total precip from the radar there, again, it's nothing crazy. Those are amounts that are up to about an inch. This is 1 hour precip, and some of that, most of it fell in an hour, especially here near Van Wert. and off into Indiana. Some of that fell in about an hour. So this product is going to be a little bit behind. Couple 1-inch hail reports there across Jefferson County, so that storm was still producing hail. A lot of hail tonight. We were expecting that. There was the potential for some bigger hail. Fortunately, I didn't see anything that was 2 inches or greater. But there was certainly potential for that, and that did not pan out, and that's good. Dover, go to bed. Yes, you're good now. You're good there. Mercer, go to bed. You're good. Is the cold front out ahead of the line of storms? No, that's not how it works. The cold front actually is basically behind this line of storms. As the cold front's moving through, what's basically doing is it's creating a lift that allowed the storms to develop earlier. However, at this point where we're at, again, it's nighttime, so we've lost daytime heating. Even though it's still warm, we've lost some of that daytime heating, and the storms are also moving away from some of the better dynamics aloft that we would need because that front is coming through. So the dynamics are going away as well, and that's why they're weakening. No, if the storms were behind the front, we kind of had that set up the last time we had some severe weather, and that was a really oddball setup. We don't particularly see that setup too often here in Ohio. Everything's got to come together for it. We don't really see that too much. It's a rare setup for us. Stark County, go to bed. Delaware, go to bed. Cambridge, the storm is still coming your way. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect there for another hour for you. Hail right now in Coshocton. Yep, not surprised. How big's the hail? Let me know. Looks like pea size. Okay. Moderate wind, lots of lightning. Yep. The weather app says 1 to 2 inches of rain. Yeah, it probably does. Anything for the Dayton area? I don't know why Massillon's sounding sketchy. There's some sketchy parts of town. I know that from that area. If you're in the Cleveland area, don't be asking me if you can go to bed. Go to bed. Get off my stream, man. Go to bed. Get some sleep. Trumbull County, get some sleep. You guys had a busy day earlier. Dayton area, I really wish I could give you better answers. But honestly, I think you guys are going to be okay. And I say that with a grain of salt. You're going to get some rain overnight, and you could get some storms overnight. All right. Severe, probably not. I know you guys have this tornado watch till 11. They did locally extend that, but I cannot see much in the way of severe weather getting that far south at this point. That's going to be really tough. I'm looking at Indianapolis radar elsewhere here, and there is not much coming. You're going to get some storms that are out near like Anderson and the kind of Newcastle, Indiana area. Those are all non-severe. And by the time they get there, they'll probably even be weaker. So yeah, all that is non-severe at this point, which is great news. More and more of the tornado watch got dropped too, so that's great. Pretty much, for the most part, along and north of US 30 is out of the watch, but that's not super inclusive because actually the counties from Mansfield west are where US 30 is. But if you're north of there, you're good. But you know, even still, I mean, that, you know, just because you're under tornado watch doesn't necessarily mean the threat's still there. Just they decided not to drop you for whatever reason. But yeah, that's the biggest stuff right now, which is good. Just really our biggest storm is the one coming out of Coshocton towards Plainfield, Conesville, West Lafayette towards Kimballton, and then eventually on to Cambridge. That's the strongest storm in the state. That's the one we're watching right here. And I'm going to stick with you for this one for a little bit. If it does weaken enough, then I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. Carroll County, go to bed. Windy in Columbus. Yeah, it's going to be windy in the front comes through. But it's been windy all day. And it's going to be windy tomorrow. Steubenville, that storm just moved through. That's going to be about it. You'll see showers and some storms. They'll be non-severe. St. Clairsville, are you going to get anything bad? Well, you already had a storm move nearby. But no. Again, we kind of already covered a lot of this stuff. All right, now we're still throwing towns out there. So that's enough. I'm not going to go over any more towns. We went over the state a couple times here, guys. So we're pretty good and covered there, I believe. All right. All right, just looking at a couple other things here. Yeah, warnings and stuff are winding down quite a bit. That's great. A lot of hail reports tonight across northwestern Ohio. Wind reports across western Ohio. Hail reports, basically Dover, New Philly, east from that one cell. That's the cell now moving into Pennsylvania. That guy produced some hail. Same with our shell kind of out of Coshocton here and there. That was tornado warned earlier, up towards the upper Sandusky, Mount Gilead area. Not anymore. We've lost that. Still producing hail. Definitely still producing some hail. So I prepare for that. Guernsey County, Kimballton to Cambridge, Byesville, Center. I definitely be prepared for some hail. Hopefully it's not as big. It looked like from our chat, people were reporting pea size or so. So that's good. Hardin County, go to bed. Coshocton, yep, you guys are good. It's going to be rain. You'll hear some thunder here and there, but you'll be all right. McConnellsville, you ain't going to get much there, guys. But glad you're watching. Crawford County, you don't have any other storms coming. Tornado watch expires at 11, and to be honest with you, your tornado threat there is over. Crawford County can go to bed. Rain, maybe some thunder here and there. That's about it. Clark County, go to bed. Have a good night. You guys aren't going to get much across southwestern Ohio. You'll get rain eventually. It will get there. Could hear some thunder, but not going to be severe. I know we don't have radar down there, but it's not going to be severe. Weather Service issued this massive special weather statement that basically covers all of central Ohio, including Clark County. Strong thunderstorms impact portions of the county. They're moving southeast at 60. Gusty winds, half-inch hail possible. Again, we don't have radar down here across out of Wilmington. So if you're just joining us, the Columbus area, Southwest Ohio, Cincinnati, all that, we don't have radar down here. So as these storms get towards Columbus, we can't see squat. Nothing really hits Columbus very well. Nothing, not even Charleston. Nothing hits it. So because of that, they just have this big, huge, mega special weather statement. And it's basically a guess. Even if we go to the composite radar, it doesn't look like anything. You're going, what are you talking about? Storms. They're there. But, you know, whether or not they pan out to what that special weather statement says, it's going to be a hard press because, again, we just can't see anything. However, did get some 47-mile-an-hour winds there at Ohio State Airport. That was measured. So, you know, they're kind of going based on that a little bit too. And that makes it possible. So some gusty winds around the Columbus Metro down to Circleville, Chillicothe, Washington Courthouse, Lancaster, even in the Logan County. The Logan area in Hocking County, could certainly see some of that. But you know, it's going to be real hit and miss. This is going to weaken, of course, as we go through the evening. Coming across Carroll County and to Carrollton towards Uricksville there, that's a nice little line there of heavy rain and probably some gusty winds. They don't really paint on here all that great. Yeah, gusty winds, 40 miles an hour perhaps. And our storm here in the Coshocton area, it is finally starting to fall apart. Some gusty winds, still some hail, but it is finally starting to fall apart. So remember how we asked earlier about, well, how's the storm going to affect Cambridge? Well, don't know. This is why things are starting to fall apart. So as we approach kind of Interstate 70 is where we really lost a lot of these dynamics. They just didn't get down this far. And we're kind of seeing that. The storm's struggling there. So we're going to keep an eye on this. This particular severe thunderstorm warning goes until 10:30. I cannot stay with you all the way till 10:30. But I'll stay as long as I can with this one here. But if it continues to weaken, we are going to end the live stream because there's just not much left going on. So if you're not being really impacted by that storm, you can go to bed. So that includes all of you asking about for the 20th time if you can go to bed. Go to bed, please. Heard there was a tornado, something right across the fields from me, and the whole house was shaking. I don't know what that means, Lori. The only place there was a confirmed tornado was Trumbull County earlier, north of Youngstown Airport. That was it. That was the only confirmed tornado. Can I ask how radars just stopped working? Yeah, sure. That's a valid question, Sierra. We don't know what happened here, but there's a lot of things that can happen to a radar that would make it stop working. So radar spins in a circle, 24/7, 365. Our Doppler radar system really is derived from the 1980s. A lot of them were installed in the 90s. So the full name of the radar system is WSR-88D, Weather Service Radar 1988 Doppler is what it stands for. 1988 was when they first went online. Most of them were installed in the 90s, obviously, because late 80s came around. A lot of the ones here in Ohio were early to mid 90s, so they're pretty old. Now they did go through a basically like a big refurbishment. It's what they call a SLEP, a Service Life Extension Project, basically, where they replaced like a lot of the big parts of the radar. So one of that is the pedestal that everything spins on gets replaced. The centerpiece that basically spins the dish. The dish got a replacement. Some of these sensors got a replacement. Back about, almost about 15 years ago now, they did something called dual polarization. So the radar's polarized, right? It sends out a beam one way and it sends out a radio wave. That's like this, right? Sine wave. They took another sensor and put it in there and turned it 90 degrees. So you have one going this way laterally and one going this way vertically, what they call dual polarization. And that gives us a lot of what we see today. We get a really good view at the storm, and we can get a lot of information from the radar because of that second transmitter basically being mounted at a different angle on the radar. It's awesome. It's really good stuff. And that was about 15 years ago. The Service Life Extension Project is pretty much wrapping up. All the radars in Ohio went under ours anywhere from about, probably within the past 7 to 8 years or so. So they've all went through that. Tonight, all we know, based on the message that the Weather Service sent out, is that there was a communication issue with the radar. That's really, really broad. That could be a line got cut somewhere. It could be a provider, whoever provides that network. That's not all the Weather Service. It does also work with, actual, telecom providers as well. They could be having an issue. It could be another equipment issue that's affecting things. We don't really know. It happens. It happens at the worst time sometimes, and yeah, we don't like that. It really, really makes it uneasy for us. The good news is at least in that area, the tornado threat there wasn't very high. It's when we get into times where we get a bigger tornado threat and then we lose a radar. That is really unnerving because there's not a whole lot you can do. You can't see much. Hard to issue warnings. You either issue the tornado warning hoping that, it doesn't happen and you were wrong, or you issue a tornado warning and it does happen. You go, thank goodness. But, they don't really like to do that. They don't like to provide all that false warning. So that is why it happens. It's technology. It's older technology too. A lot of the hardware in it did get an upgrade. Some of it anyways at times, but a lot of it is still fairly old. at this point. You know, you figure you go back in, you know, mid 90s, it's already pushing 20 some odd years old, maybe older, you know, so it does break down. It does happen. Do they need to replace the Doppler radar system? We could talk all night on this, and I really can't. Yes, they do. Are they? Probably not anytime in the near future. It's extremely expensive, and it's super cumbersome. It's going to take a very long time, and there really isn't much that I know of that's in the works on trying to replace Doppler radar right now, but eventually the system will need to be upgraded for sure. And I will get off my soapbox with that. Here's our storm moving into northwestern Guernsey County, and it is becoming a little bit weaker. I can see here, kind of looking at stuff, that it's kind of blossoming out a little bit, in the sense where it's just kind of falling apart. You're still going to see some hail here. As it gets towards Cambridge, I expect it to weaken a little bit. I'm going to hang on with you guys here until we get closer to Cambridge with this storm. I'm kind of curious to see what happens with it. But I think as it continues to move off to the south and east here, you can kind of see this. So this whole line kind of goes together. We're going to see this continue to weaken. Part of that is because, well, all this rain-cooled, stable air is having an effect on this storm. Because why? It's catching up, right? The front is pushing south. It's kind of catching up to the storm, so it's going to start stabilizing the atmosphere, and it's going to start pretty much taking the punch away from those particular cells. So that's probably what we're starting to see here at this point. Boy, 50 degrees. Ugh, I'm not looking forward to 30s tomorrow, guys. I'm not. Tuscarawas County, you guys can go to bed. Have a great night. Nothing need to worry about there. There's no second round of storms at this point. None. Zero, zilch, nothing. Nothing like that. No, I mean, no severe storms. Could still see some, you know, thunderstorms here and there at times. Especially across western Ohio, with the line of storms, showers and storms coming out of Indiana, but a lot of that is diminishing too. But they're there. There's still some showers and storms that go back, oh man, even towards western Indiana. But I think those are going to diminish as well as they continue pushing east. So non-severe there is the big key. We only have one severe storm in Ohio, and that's the one you're looking at right now in Guernsey County, northern Guernsey County right now. Still kind of getting this hail course right over Kimbolton, down towards Bowdoin. That may actually just miss Cambridge. It may pass just to the north of Cambridge. I think it will. So it'll cross 77 here shortly near North Salem, move over Salt Fork State Park. Not much out there. And then eventually cross over US 22. I think that's what's going to end up happening here. And it'll head more towards the old Washington area than Cambridge. Northeast Ohio will not get any more storms. You guys are done. Don't pass bad information. So we'll do this one more time real quick here. It's 10 o'clock. Here's northern Ohio. It's rain. The thunder and lightning are pretty much done. It's rain. It's mid to upper 40s, 50 if you're lucky. Same as you get further west. Rain. Maybe an occasional thunderstorm here or there, especially as you get out towards Wapakoneta, Greenville, Sydney, along I-75 there south of Lima. Right now, still some thunder there. You still got all this stuff, fun stuff here out in northern Indiana. I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice a little bit here. You still got all that fun stuff there, and it will eventually move into, we're looking at this stuff here, guys. It'll eventually move this way. I forgot I had a pen. So eventually it will make its way there. It's going to continue to weaken as it does. Even this guy here, out here, is moving this way. But again, it's going to weaken as it does. None of those are currently severe. Absolutely none of those are severe currently. Okay, I don't know why it doesn't want to get rid of that line. Bear with me. Let's put that over there. Let's get rid of that. Nope. Does not want to get rid of that red line. Okay. Not that one. Let's see. There we go. There we go. Okay, good. Whew. All right. Again, southwestern Ohio, it's really hard to see, but all this stuff here, all this stuff is headed your way. All of this. It's headed this way. Gusty winds are possible. They're going to continue to weaken as we get later into the overnight. You'll see rain for sure. Just keep that in mind. I also want to highlight, here's 70. Interstate 70. If you are up here, let me do this. Let's do a different color. Let's do blue. Let's just make this bigger. If you are up here, where I circled in the blue, and even north of that, because I'm going off my screen here. If you are there, no more severe weather. All done. All done with the severe weather. If you are, I'm going to change colors a little bit here. I'm going to go with yellow. Let's go with yellow. If you're south of I-70, you're down here. Your severe weather threat is really, really, really low. Chances are you will not see severe storms. More than likely, you will hear some rumbles of thunder. I think if you are west of US 23, maybe some rumbles of thunder. Dayton, Cincinnati area overnight. Over here, lesser chance of thunder. Could hear some, but lesser chance. But no severe weather. I'm not expecting any severe weather at this point. Honestly, I don't even expect this severe thunderstorm warning in Guernsey County. Right now, I'm not expecting them to extend it. They might. It still has hail. It's still trying to hang on. They might extend it, get into portions of Monroe and Belmont County, and even the last little bit of northeastern Noble County here near Batesville and whatnot. They might, but again, it is going to continue to diminish as it moves south and east. It's going to continue to weaken because, again, all that rain-cooled air behind it is going to start impacting that storm's ability to sustain itself. So we're going to hang on a little longer here with this, and then eventually we are going to have to end this here. Can I show the lightning? Do you see the little light white dots on the screen? That's the lightning. It doesn't look like a lightning bolt on this particular system. No, it hasn't come through Byesville. Appreciate the report. It's still north of you. You guys are going to get hit kind of by the weaker portion of it. That pink portion there, that's up towards Kim Bolton, that is not going to impact you. It will stay north. It's going to head more towards Old Washington. Nothing to worry about in Lancaster. I think you guys are going to be okay. So for those asking about the lightning, that's these little white dots. No, that's not hail. That's lightning. And they're recent strikes. So when they're clustered like this, you know you got still a pretty good storm. You get all this hail. That's going to definitely increase your lightning. Then you come up here and it's less, you know. It's more the rain than anything. The fact that it's heavier rain. But the hail is going to increase your lightning count. Yep, that's not too much else going on. I just want to see what this storm here does. Right now, plan on 10:15 on this stream ending. Can you go to bed in Muskingum County? Yeah, you could have went to bed a while ago. Absolutely, go to bed. I need to go to bed. I'm tired. And yeah, so I'm gonna just plan on ending the live stream here right about 10:15. We'll see what this cell does, but I'm not anticipating anything crazy going on. Someone asked how the radar picks up hail. In a simple, how do I put this? In simple terms, it doesn't. It picks up. It really picks up precipitation. It doesn't pick up particularly hail like you would think it might. So more or less how this works with radar is it sends out a radio wave, right? We kind of talked about it. It sends out a radio signal. It bounces off something in the air, like rain, hail, or whatever, and it returns it. Based on what it bounces off of and how strong that echo comes back, determines how strong it looks on here. Now, I can make these colors literally anything I want. So keep that in mind. When you're looking at whether you're on TV or whatever, I can change this to whatever colors I want. I could go backwards with this and make all the green red and all the red green if I wanted to. So just kind of keep that in mind. But otherwise, what we're looking at here is these colors here. This is going to be, it's a higher reflectivity, so it's bouncing off more stuff. Hail is highly reflective. You're going to get a strong radio signal return back at the radar site compared to light rain in the green, right? So that's what it's looking at. So when we see this, once we get to a certain point, we know we're not hitting rain anymore. We're hitting rain and ice, or we're hitting something that's highly reflective. For this to be all rain, it is possible. That's really, really heavy rain. I mean, really heavy. It's either really big drops or really, really heavy. Chances are it's really, really heavy. So that's kind of how we see it. Now, the radar also processes something called vertically integrated liquid, or VIL. And I had it up earlier, and you'll see TV stations kind of play on this ploy as like a hail tracker or something like that. It kind of is. So it's basically showing like how much moisture is being brought upward into the storm, right? So there's an updraft there. How much it is being brought up into the storm. Again, the higher the value, the chances are we're looking at hail instead of just water being uplifted into the storm. Hail, of course, starting as water, it's getting uplifted through a cold updraft. It's freezing. It gets to a point, it cycles back around, it falls, and it keeps going until the storm can no longer maintain it. And that's how the hailstones grow. If you cut them, it looks like tree rings in the middle as well. And that's because it goes up through the updraft, comes back down, it goes through freezing and melting and freezing and melting. It does this over and over again. And so the bigger the hailstones, it's going to be much, much more reflective as well. Or the larger quantity of hailstones, it's also going to be much more reflective as well. So that's really how we kind of tell. And really, we're kind of making our best guess at it. We don't know 100%. Yeah, that's absolutely hail. Don't 100% know. It could be heavy rain. But in this particular case, the overall severe setup was favorable for hail. So it's pretty good assumption that it's producing hail. At this rate, I would say that it's not producing a lot of large hail at this point. It's probably not producing inch hail. It's probably anywhere from pea size to maybe 3/4 inch in diameter, maybe. And then again, that's a total guess. And that's just really based on what I've seen in the past. As it falls, of course, it's going to melt. Eventually, the updraft's not going to support either the quantity or the size, and it's going to fall eventually. Gravity always wins. So eventually it does fall. As it falls, though, it does melt, of course, because it gets warmer as it falls, especially when it's still 77 degrees in Cambridge. Man, oh, you guys are over 20 degrees warmer than where I'm at right now. almost 30. Whew, just crazy. But this particular cell is definitely weakening. Again, it's just kind of wind damage for the most part. Wind damage. Wind potential is what I want to say. It's been a long evening, guys. A long evening. So that's what we're looking at here. I have no idea if there's a storm watcher in Yorksville. That'd be like a storm spotter. No idea. Dayton's good. Go to bed. Yes, you're right, Adam. The storm has been pretty much going pretty good since Upper Sandusky. Absolutely. All right, so a few more minutes on this stream here, and then I'm pretty much going to call it a night at this point. This severe thunderstorm warning for pretty much Guernsey County, parts of Belmont and Harrison and Noble County there goes until 10:30. They did update this a little bit. $half dollar size hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds. Possible. Again, that's going to be up here. It's pretty much Salt Fork State Park along US 22, headed towards Middlebourne, Elizabethtown, Salesville, Quaker City, and there. And you see, they did extend the severe thunderstorm warning, so we'll talk about it real quick. New severe thunderstorm warning for Belmont County, Guernsey County, Monroe County, East Central Muskingum County. I don't know why they issued it that far back. Northeastern Noble and Marshall County in West Virginia. All right, so they canceled the first warning we were just looking at. It's gone. They warned this whole thing. If you're in Muskingum County, you are not. Forget this. Forget this. This is crap. I'm sorry. You're not impacted by this storm. You're not at all. Not at all. Otherwise, Guernsey, northeastern portion of Noble, and they have much of Monroe and Belmont County. St. Clairsville excluded on this particular severe thunderstorm warning. And it's for this cell right here that we've been watching for a little bit because it's about the only thing we have left to watch. Yeah, certainly possible for inch hail at this point, 60-mile-an-hour winds. This is going to continue to weaken though. So it's going to pretty much at this point be the only storm so far that's going to get south of I-70 and still be severe. That's about it. But it's going to continue to weaken, which is great news. So if you're in this area, the storm, you're in this polygon, just keep in mind, that it's on its way. But it's not going to be, like end of the world type stuff. It's not tornadic. It's not spinning. And it's going to continue to diminish as well. So that's the good news with that. Tornado watch expires in 45 minutes. Any of the counties still here in red will likely just be allowed to drop off at 11. There's this big mega polygon out here for this special weather statement for some pesky thunderstorms with wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour. Again, we can't really see too much because of the radar outage in Wilmington, but that expires in 15 minutes or less. Those storms will continue to drop off. Putting a big composite up, again, we have rain moving across the northern half of Ohio. Some thunder here and there is possible, but thunderstorms will continue to decrease overnight. We'll just transition to more rain. Severe weather threat is largely over, minus the one storm moving through the Cambridge area at this point. Otherwise, once that is out of Ohio, our severe threat is over. And really the severe threat is pretty much over anyways. Nice storm there. Whoops, sorry about that. That's the wrong button, guys. Nice storm there moving across Jefferson County towards Steubenville. That's that line from earlier out of Carrollton. Again, it's probably more heavy rain and some gusty winds up to about 40, 45 miles an hour more than anything else. And then there's our storm here moving out of Cambridge. And again, it is kind of weakening. Radar not painting it too great because it's getting a lot of attenuation from our storm over Jefferson County. which is impacting how it views it. And some of the other precipitation nearby is also kind of attenuating the signal just a touch. Either way, some hail is possible, still a lot of lightning with it, so that's going to still be a pretty strong storm one way or the other. Yep, raining pretty hard in Cambridge, I agree with that. May see some hail in there shortly too, but that storm is going to continue to fall apart as it pushes south and east, even through that warning box. Salina, go to bed. That's the best thing you do, go to bed. Your severe threat is done. I know this tornado watch is still there, but it's going to expire in 45 minutes. They're probably not going to cancel anything else at this point. It'll just be allowed to drop off as they go. It's possible they cancel it early. I think they should, but I don't get to make that call. So, and you know what? Gosh darn it, they just did. They just dropped the tornado watch. Here we go. Look at this, guys. Oh no, there it went. Never mind. That's just the software doing something weird. They might be updating it a little bit. Maybe they will drop off some counties, but I thought they dropped it off. That'd have been funny. All right. Anyway. Yeah, it's just the software doing that. Okay, so there's our severe storm moving through Cambridge, about ready to cross I-70 there from Cambridge east towards the Belmont County line. And some of the other locations impacted, I never did cover it, I'm sorry. Senecaville, Quaker City, Barnesville, Morristown, Belmont, Batesville, Kenensburg, Temperanceville, and some of these other towns here around Woodsfield, like Jerusalem and Miltonsburg, Louisville. Boy, I think the storm's going to start falling apart by the time it gets to you there. It may still be kind of on the strong side. Just keep that in mind, but I think it is going to kind of fall apart. Any hail is going to be up from Middlebourne towards Londonderry right now at this point, and maybe in the east side of Cambridge, right along 77 there, where 22 comes in. Could see some hail there, but shouldn't be quite as large as what we were seeing earlier. All right, with that, I'm 4 minutes over. Man, how many times are you going to tell you to go to bed, Urbana? Go to bed. Okay, stuff coming. All right, guys. All right, you're on your own. You guys are on your own. No more, no more. Thank you for joining us. Mark Spencer again from Ohio News and Weather. Appreciate all the support and you guys sticking around and asking me 100 times if you guys are okay. But we shouldn't ask that too much. Hopefully we get a little break from the severe weather. It's going to be cooler this weekend. We do warm up next week, but we get a lot of rain coming too.